Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, two of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune in to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder.
National champion, baby! What are we talking about? Let's go! Let's go, baby! National champ! This is all we wanted. Jim Harbaugh! We don't care what's going on! Let's go, baby! National champ! That's what we're talking about! Everyone haters, we don't care! We've got a national championship. Give me the cigar! We're enjoying this one, and we're going nowhere. Let's go! Woo! Welcome in. It is Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder on the Woodward Sports Network. Appreciate all of you guys tuning in. And guess what? The Michigan Wolverines are national champions, baby.
Talk to them.
National champions, man. Let's go. Give it up, everyone around the room. Oh, man. Bro, I'm going to go to you first on this real quick. Usually I'll go into a little monologue. You went to Michigan. You played at Michigan. How good of a feeling was that last night? Because you guys already saw my reaction with that video there.
Oh, that's how I felt inside. It was so much fun watching it here, by the way, with the crew. But to have Michigan at the end of this season, at the end of everything that's gone on, come out with a 15-0 season, beating Alabama in the semis, and then Washington, holding them to 13 points in the national championship. It was storybook ending. I loved. Yeah, you got laughed out of the room for saying, "Oh, they're going to hold them under 20."
Spenny walked up to me today, gave me a nice little crisp $20 bill. I gave him back a 10. Got free $10 there for that. So
boom, it's special. It's special for the Michigan community.
It was. We appreciate all of you guys tuning in. I look here real quick in the chat. Just a fan said, "Booner, you should have drank or smoked." One thing I want to kind of correct here, and I kept getting messages and comments all over social media, was, "Man, this kid gets after it. Man, this kid can drink." And I didn't even get a buzz last night from it. I didn't drink all night. It was literally just game-winning champagne. When you win a national championship and when the Detroit Lions win a Super Bowl, we all should be drinking champagne and spraying champagne and doing that. Like, I've never done that in my life before. We've had like the Wings, the Pistons when I was young, a little kid. This was the first time as an adult, older, where I'm like locked in. We have our own show that I like was able to kind of do that. And like, we sat there and did the stream. I felt like I was a part of the team. And being able to go do the champagne and get a cigar, and me and Nick sat out here for like an hour after everyone left and smoked some cigars and just enjoyed a national championship.
You were a part of the team, by the way.
Felt like we were, man.
The only people who really didn't hear the noise of the outside was that team, or they blocked it out. But that's what any Michigan fan or any Michigan love, that's what was thrown on us, them.
Yeah, and when you're a fan and you go through that stuff for so long, man, like I was saying it on the heavyweights, was people were like, "Oh, Booner, are you really a fan? You went to Saginaw Valley." It's like, listen, my family, I grew up growing up, my grandpa, R.I.P., who passed away, my uncle, R.I.P., passed away, my other uncle, R.I.P., passed away. They all, like, growing up, where they're like, every single time I see them, we're watching Michigan, we're doing this, it's Michigan, Michigan. My uncle, who I was closest with, he graduated from Michigan, and that was the bond that I had with him. To be able to watch that, and as the clock hits 0, to have the champagne, the cigar, and in your head you're thinking all the family members, friends that you grew up watching it with, that all starts to hit you in the head, and you're like, this is like unbelievable. This is what sports are about, man. Like, this is what fandom is all about, is being able to enjoy that.
And you can't have gone to that school before 17, 18 years old. So the people who say you never went to that school, you're not allowed to be a fan. None of that. None of that.
Forever,
I welcome
man.
You, Booner.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Michigan
bro.
Man. Let's go.
Bro. How about these two?
And we got the boys here. KG, how we feeling?
Hey, man, I'm feeling good, man. Woke up to a natty win.
Yes, sir.
I got my NFC North championship hat in the mail after 2 weeks, man. Life is good, bro. Life is good. I cannot complain. Nick, how you feeling, bro?
Let's go! We are the champions. Let's go. I am so goddamn stoked. I wouldn't have wanted to watch it with a better group of people. Woodward Nights exclusive. All 4 of us were showing out for the stream last night. It was a ball, like Booner said. We celebrated after. It was a lot of fun. But just think about this team and think about He has trouble with the snap. Think about the 4th and short against Ohio State. Think about everything that Jim Harbaugh has been through with this Michigan team. And back then, if you told me that they were going to be natty champions in 2023, I would not have believed it. We stuck out the ship. Jim Harbaugh, 3 straight Big Ten titles, 3 straight college football playoff appearances, and 1 national championship. I'm so proud to be a fan of these Wolverines, and it's just truly a special feeling, boys. And I'm on cloud 9. I woke up feeling great.
It is. On my drive home last night too, there was like a moment where I'm like, I don't know if it's real that they won. Like, it didn't hit yet. You know what I mean? Like, it's just one of those things. We haven't had a championship in Michigan or anything in the state of Michigan, professional or college, in so long. It was like, is this really is this real? And it didn't hit. And then when I got in here this morning, Hermione came in, Maz, and I'm like, oh, we won a national championship. Brady ran up to me. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is
What was it like when Ryan came through the doors? Was he
he was ready to go. He came in with food for the whole crew, man, and he was ready to go. It was great.
I pictured so much excitement.
It was awesome. I'll go over the rundown here. If you guys can, as you guys come in, hit that like button, share the stream with some friends, man. Tell some people about Woodward Nights here. We're growing this thing here. We're the last show on the network. We're growing it. We're going to do Michigan, obviously, the rest of this segment, 8:15. We're going to talk about we're going over the game at 8:15, breaking it down, kind of went down. 8:30, Jim Harbaugh. Want to talk about him and JJ, what their return looks like. Are they going to go for back-to-back national championships? I have a couple statements on that I want to go over. And then after that, we're going to do about 45 minutes of Michigan, and then we do have to talk Detroit Lions.
We only have 4 days. We only have 4 days. Not only have we missed the Vikings
show that
review.
didn't get to go yesterday.
Yeah, so we got to squeeze review and preview all in 4 days.
So 8:45, we're going on the Rams. We're going to start talking about this whole Matthew Stafford thing at 8:45. 9 o'clock, we're going to speak a little bit about the Vikings game, just because some dudes performed on Sunday. 9:15, confidence level for the Lions in the playoffs. 9:30, we're going to talk about some different records that have been broken throughout the season for the Detroit Lions. And then we do have a Booner question at 9:40 for Michigan fans and Lions fans at 9:40.
Lions fans.
And we'll get into mailbag. Want to start off with this, though, and I want the chat to answer this as well. Whether you're a Michigan fan, State fan, Ohio State, SEC, I know we have some people that love the SEC in our chat. I want to ask this question, though. And this is the first thing that I thought about after the win, and when we're having these conversations after, is what is the importance, like the main importance of this Michigan national championship? Because there's always going to be they can't compete with the SEC. Oh, Ohio State always had the one national championship in the last, in this new era over Michigan. Oh, the Big Ten hasn't had a national championship since Ohio State. There's all these different things. Michigan as a whole, this national championship, and I'm going to go around the room on this because I want to hear what people have to say. And in the chat, what is the importance of this national championship and mean for the Michigan football program?
I don't know what to say other than it means everything. Like it solidifies everything we thought we were, everything we believed we were, as a strong institute, a top institution, university, a good athletic program, a good academic everything. This sort of encapsulates it all. And I know that it might not make sense because it's a football game and a football team, but just looking at these players and how they treat each other, how they rallied together, despite, while we may call it adversity, some people on the other side think that's BS. But whichever way you float it, this team, they were so close. They talked about each other. They cared about each other. Every interview in these press conferences has been it's been a lesson to any athlete in, okay, how do you talk about your teammates? They've done it perfectly, and they've played for their coach, whatever that means to you. It was just so good to see them come together. And for the record books, being able to have this season, looking back on it, and you see Alabama, Ohio State, Washington, all beat. That you don't see Alabama's like third best team of the 2000s, or it's Alabama, and you did everything you needed to win a national championship. It's amazing.
Yeah, and I think, to be honest, the importance, like you've shown, like there's been the last 3 or 4 years to where it's like you've competed at those levels and you just can never get over that hump. That was, and I keep saying it, that last Infinity Stone here for like that whole whatever the Marvel thing character is, like that was the last thing for Jim Harbaugh, for Thanos, for Jim Harbaugh and Michigan to go get was, you need that national championship. You can say you won the Big Ten. You could say you beat Ohio State. You could say you went to the college football playoffs. You had to win the national championship. You haven't done it since '97, and all of the people who you know who are going to go at you are going to say that was a split one. And before that, when was it? The '50s. It was like, you have to go get that coveted trophy, no matter what, the cheating scandals, Paul Feinbaum, all of those scumbags, no matter what it is. You had to go win the national championship and get it done just to prove that you are there. And now you're there, and we're going to get into it in the next couple segments. Now it's time to, at least I think, to keep this thing rolling. KG, Nick, what do you guys, the importance of this kind of national championship mean for Michigan?
Yeah, big thing for me, it comes about negative recruiting, because that's something that other teams could say. That was their first outright national championship since 1948, boys. That's a long time. Oh, my God. So, all the other SEC schools were saying, if you're not going to win a national championship if you go to Michigan, that's no more. And I think some big-time recruits are going to look in the mirror and look at this team and how they did battle that adversity. And I think we're going to start getting some big-time players. You think about last night, JJ leading, Donovan Edwards. You think about the top elite recruits, Will Johnson. You think about Keon Sabb, had a big game after that first missed tackle. You think about elite guys in an elite program that is so close-knit. This thing is going to keep on rolling. Whether it's with Jim Harbaugh or Sharon Moore or somebody else, this thing's going to keep on moving
Nick,
in the right direction.
Speaking of recruiting, Nick, who was up in the press box watching this game? What are some of the names?
Derek Jeter, Desmond Howard,
Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Like this, being on that stage it's a recruiting visit to the entire country. Like, imagine everybody watching that game, seeing Jeter, Desmond Howard, Charles Wood, seeing all those guys, Michael Jordan. Like, that's where I would want to go.
Yeah, and no doubt. And you think about them winning the national championship. You think about the donors, and maybe they're more willing to toss out the bag in this NIL era. I'm sure they're going to be more willing to throw out the cash for some of those top guys now more than ever. KG?
Yeah, I pretty much think the NCAA looks worse today. I mean, you see a lot of people coming out. Paul Feinbaum, I don't know if y'all saw that earlier today.
Gosh.
He came out and said that he's never been more wrong about anything else in his life, really. I mean, it's just time, man. It's time for people to admit that Michigan, we put in the work to get this championship. This wasn't because of a sign-stealing scandal. None of that. These players went out there. They gave their all. JJ coming up short and in 2 years, and then finally that third year breaking through. It's beautiful, man. I'm just happy for everybody that stuck around. Those who stay will be champions. I'm glad for everybody that stuck around and they're enjoying the spoils today. It's their day, man. Got to give it up for them.
It is. And KG, I just sent something in Slack. Just if you can, it's a Jim Harbaugh picture that we posted actually with the tweet. So whenever you can throw that up, I just sent it. But to KG's point, like Tony Petitti, Paul Feinbaum, like those guys, at the end of the day, I said it on the stream last night, they're all still scumbags. Mm-hmm. Ryan Day trying to take the Michigan program down, scumbag. They all are. Paul Feinbaum, like Cinnabon, whatever the name is, like him coming at Michigan all year, and not even just coming at Michigan, like writing a narrative before there was an investigation that was finished. And that's the biggest thing is, and Harbaugh said it yesterday in the postgame. He was like, what we did the last few weeks, we proved we were innocent. Like, we went out there and we beat the teams and we showed that we were innocent. We didn't need whatever you guys thought we did before. We went out there and beat the best teams, Alabama, Washington, Ohio State. We went and beat those teams that tried to say that we were cheating, and we did it without you guys thinking we were cheating after the fact. So I think it's just it kind of shows kind of the character of this football team, what they kind of rallied behind. I want to show this clip or this thing here, and it's interesting to me because I don't know if you guys remember a little while back when Jim Harbaugh said we're going to do it and we're going to do it, we're going to die trying. And I think this was about 4 or 5 years ago when he kind of came out, and it was things were rough. I think he took actually a pay cut in his contract.
This was COVID year before
he took the little pay cut, and they renegotiated his contract for incentives based and all of that. Since then, though, the Michigan Wolverines 40-3. Three straight Big Ten titles, 3 straight college football playoff berths, 3 straight wins over Ohio State and Penn State, a Rose Bowl victory, and on top of that, as you guys saw last night, a national championship. So when he kind of went out and said, hey, we're changing things. Things are starting to change. Blake Corum said it last night, said, after the COVID year, we all kind of came together and we said we had to change this culture. That's what it looks like it happened at Michigan.
They did. They changed recruiting. They went after a new style of coaching. Jim Harbaugh himself changed. Although we've seen a lot of run game in the last couple of weeks this season, he has changed his philosophy in offense and letting the players, be themselves out in the field, not this, New York Yankees style organization. So it's been a special run.
Yeah.
Also, I told you before the show, I came across the stat. Michigan played 900 minutes of football in 2023. Of those 900 minutes, Michigan trailed for only 40 minutes and 47 seconds. 4.5% of the time they were on the field.
I want to see how many people we have right now watching. About 144. Wow. Can everyone, just out of pure respect for the national championship, can we all just spam the chat with Scumbag Day for Ryan Day? Just out of pure respect, whether you're a Michigan fan, Michigan State, I'm sure we all hate Ryan Day. Everyone, just Scumbag Day. Scumbag Day, because guess who's won the most recent national championship? Not Ryan Day. Has Ryan Day ever won a national championship? Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, well, maybe we should investigate that. Why don't we just get some personal investigations on that?
They'll get hit. We don't have to. They'll get hit with some stuff.
Scumbag Day, though.
If you haven't liked the stream, what the hell are you doing?
The fact that he's sitting there and he kind of had to go out and make his own little company to investigate Michigan and do all this because he couldn't win a football game.
Garbage.
He's just a bad coach. Maybe you should look in the mirror. Maybe you're just a bad coach. Having to go do illegal stuff to kind of bring another program down to win. What are we doing here? Scumbag Day. Whether you're a Michigan fan or not, Scumbag Day. We should see 100 of them in the chat right now.
He's on borrowed time anyway.
Before we go to break, Nick, real quick, I have to shout out someone. The first Michigan fan I ever watched games with happens to be my dad, a Michigan alum, Michigan Law School alum. It is his birthday today. January 9th. So I just want to say happy birthday, Dad. There's my dad on the left at one of my games. I'm icing my arm. There's my mom on the right. He's down in Florida with my mom right now celebrating. So wanted to wish him a happy birthday on air. Thanks for showing that.
Young Broder in the flag.
Right?
Shout out.
Baseball days.
Yes, sir.
Happy birthday.
Shout
All
out,
right,
Pops.
let's hit break. And when we come back, we're going to get into kind of just breaking this game down, everything that went happen. If you guys watch the stream, you guys you guys all watched the game, but we're going to break it down to, kind of in depth a little bit. Nick, tell us about Big Boy.
Yes, sir. Wintertime in Detroit is always better with comfort foods from Big Boy. Try the veal parmesan or the new Southern Comfort chicken bowl. How about breakfast? The stuffed potato pancakes are back. The classic lumberjack or Santa Fe garden. Also, new apple pie hotcakes that are too good to miss. Top it all off with a new gingerbread shake for dessert. Stop by your local Big Boy today.
Have you ever wondered where all the finest restaurants get their steaks? It's Fairway Packing Company, providing Michigan restaurants, hotels, and casinos with prime beef for over 60 years. But now you can buy these cuts of meat for yourself at the Steak Shop by Fairway Packing Company. Prime porterhouse, A5 Japanese New York strip steak, dry aged Wagyu beef tomahawk. Delicious. Get to the Steak Shop today. Enjoy fine wine, have a private party, and get the finest cuts of meat anywhere. The Steak Shop on Mack Avenue in Grosse Pointe Woods, or order online, fairwaypacking.com.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Rest in peace to the same old Lions. Big thanks to Sheila Hamp, Brad Holmes, and Dan Campbell for putting them to rest. And guess what else has found the grave? Same old rock, paper, scissors. That's right. Jack Labrador has revolutionized that entire game with 2 new symbols and a franchise-changing 3-point play. Discover the action at jacklabrador.gg now and find out why. Once you go Jack, you never go back.
All right, welcome back into Woodward Nights. Let's go. With Booner and Broder on the Woodward Sports Network. Appreciate you guys tuning in here. National champions, Detroit Lions are NFC North champs. Beautiful time to be a Michigan football fan. Let's get into this game, though, because obviously it was a huge win. I was actually under the impression for a little bit, and if you guys can too, hit that like button for us. If you guys haven't already, smack that like button. If you guys think the Detroit Lions will beat the Rams and Matthew Stafford and dominate them and make Matthew Stafford retire on Sunday night, hit that like button for us. But Broder,
aggressive.
I like that move.
I was a little under the impression that, like, when Neil, and I spoke with Neil today, and I think I was going to go into the Big D chat today thinking, like, I'm going to go for, like, I'm going to make sure I'm ready for a war versus Neil. Neil was actually pretty like, hey, like, congrats to you guys. Like, this is, like, I can't say anything. Like I said, if you guys win the Natty, we can't say anything. And he stuck to those guns. He did troll a little bit. KG?
Did he come in Michigan gear like he was supposed to?
He did. He wore a Michigan shirt. He did make the joke, too, that he bought it from Walmart. He put the tag back on after and returned it right after the show.
Walmart Wolverine.
Which is fair. Like, he did, man of his word, so I respect him a lot.
And the fact that there was just a little bit of trolling lets us know that was him there. Like it was genuine Neil, and he owned up to the he did a good job at representing.
Now, the
that
one
side.
thing, and I do want to kind of put an apology out there a little bit, too, because I thought he was setting something up all last week when he was saying Michigan should win by double digits, this and that. And I was like, I want to respect this Washington team. But shout out to Neil. Shout out, he was serious. They went out there and won 34-13 and won by double digits. I know if you watch the watch party and Flannel's in the chat, it felt like we were down the whole game the way Flannel was going. And I tried to pull him back in a lot. But it felt like, I don't know about you guys, for me the whole game, I felt like we were under control the whole time. And that was the positive. Like, yes, I was very nervous because it's a Natty and it's one of the biggest games of our lives. But it felt like you were always in control. Even when it was a 7-point game multiple times and you needed to get a stop and Washington had the ball, they just kept getting stop after stop after stop. And that was what I was like, this team's going to win this game. As soon as the offense flips that switch, they're going to go win this game by multiple scores. And that's where I was. KG, you had
Yeah, when we got into that physical kind of, smash mouth, I'm going to punch you in the mouth type battle in the trenches, battle of attrition, I knew Michigan had it at that point. And I kept saying, like, we're good. Just stay calm, we got it. Like, when they made it that kind of game, Washington ain't used to playing like that.
Nope.
They used to fast games, putting up a lot of points, getting the ball out quick. But Michigan just made it hard on them, man. And you got to give it up for that front four and especially that secondary. The secondary came to play. They really saved the game for us at a couple points. The Mikey Sanders-Steele interception was amazing. But, yeah, you got to give it up. That defense just wore on them, man, and they were not prepared for that type of football.
Yeah.
He knew something good was going to happen. Or the Michigan team was in control when the first 2 runs of Donovan Edwards was
dominated.
It was over 80 yards combined, 2 touchdowns, 2 carries.
Yep.
Not just the fact that is a spark and that's how you get ahead in the game. You're up 14-3, but it's the fact that wasn't Blake Corum doing it. Like, you're ahead 14-3 without using him at all, without it putting any wear and tear. And it's Blake Corum in the second half. Although the third quarter was kind of rough, it was Blake Corum who kept that running game going, kept the team alive, and scored the final touchdown to really seal the deal.
Yeah, and I said it all year long, and a lot of people throughout the whole year were like, Booner, I don't know. And I didn't compare them to that Georgia defense 2 years ago, but I said, hey, this is one of those defenses where you could say, hey, this is the best defense Michigan's had in this little 3 or 4 year run. This was the best defense they had that they put on the field. And it was because of that secondary, it was because of those guys up front, those linemen. They just have so many dudes out there. And I said it since September, and I kept making this statement. I kept saying that defense is going to win them a championship. When we did the Big Ten Championship, I think it was the Big Ten Championship stream at Hamlin Pub, that was something I kept telling Spencer, and he was like, I don't know about that. The defense is that good. No, and I just kept saying, making the statement, this defense will win this team a national championship. They are the best defense in the country. No matter what offense is out there, they were going to step up and do that. This Washington offense was the best in the country all year long. I don't know who they play. Like, I don't care who they play. They were one of the best offenses in the country, and this defense held them to 13 points. And they got 2 turnovers. They dominated. Michael Penix, you could say he had a bad game.
No. That's what I was just going to follow up.
That defense put pressure on him all night long. There were some drops. There were, like that 4th down pass.
Of course.
That was on Michael Penix. But throughout the whole game, he has never seen a defensive line in a pass rush like he saw last night. That was the first time he saw that, and they were just on another level, man. And shout out to Jesse Minter for just putting together an insane game plan. Yeah. He's been good all year. I wouldn't be surprised if he's gone after this year, just because he's proven himself now. He can go to the NFL.
Yeah. On that point of Michael Penix, real quick, there's a lot of people out there saying he had an off game. And he did not have a good game, but that was because of Michigan's defense. Let's give him credit. That is part of it. I just want to slide that in there. Like, you got to give some credit where credit is due. And it is Jesse Minter. You can have all these dudes, but if you don't have the guy to scheme up this defense the right way or put them in the right positions to be successful, then it's meaningless. And it seemed like Jesse Minter, although it wasn't a perfect night from start to finish, he always had an answer whenever Washington started to move the ball or started to do something, got into the red zone. That's when Michigan stepped it up.
Every time. It was literally the bend don't break. I mean, this Washington, they have not. There was one time all year that they scored under like 21 points or something, or 22 points. One time, and they scored 15. I think versus like maybe Arizona State.
Arizona State, yeah.
That was the only time, and it was such a one-off game. But one time, and this Michigan defense is the team that went out there, a powerhouse offense, and they had the perfect game plan to do that. And at the end of the game, that clinched the game, the Mikey Sanders interception that almost went back for a pick six, that closed the game out. And to start the second half when you needed a big play and kind of turn them driving down the field into 3 points, that was a huge play from Will Johnson, man.
And think about how that defensive line played against the Joe Moore winning offensive line. And I know there's some people have been throwing shade at them winning that, but they were a very good offensive line that Michigan made look normal. Look average. They were in the backfield all day long. They made 73, whatever his name was, look silly, commit some silly penalties. They didn't make it easy for Penix, even without getting sacks. It's weird how you can pressure a quarterback and make a difference on a game without getting sacks.
And oh my gosh, Broder. Other side of the ball real quick as well. Other side. I want to ask this question, and I think this is actually very true. Broder, I actually saw your tweet today, so I know you're going to agree with me. Blake Corum. I think he goes down as one of the greatest Michigan Wolverine football players of all time.
How does he not?
I truly believe he has all the stats and everything to go with it. But the last 3 years, and I know JJ did it with him, but for him to be the starting running back and do what he's done the last 3 years, he should have been a Heisman Trophy candidate last year if he didn't get hurt. 3 straight years of the college football playoffs, 3 Big Ten championships. He went out there and won a national champion, 2 touchdowns, 140 or I have it right here. I want to make sure 134 yards, 2 touchdowns. Like, he went out there and he performed. And I know the Don went out there and had 100 yards and 2 big carries.
Big play Don.
But all game long, guess what? You go back to your old the one that you trust, and that's Blake Corum. I said it before, like, that's all they needed to do to win that game, and I think they did it really well. Yeah, and Blake deserves all the credit. He's one of the best ever to put on that helmet, man.
Yeah, he's on my Mount Rushmore, and to quote the legendary philosopher Samuel Fisher, how do you not? How do you not put Blake Corum on that list? I mean, it was hard to decide. They got a storied history, but man, Blake Corum has had a stellar career. He embodies everything we want in someone on our Mount Rushmore. Nick.
Yeah, speaking of Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards, I don't know if you guys have seen this yet, but they are the first duo to rush for over 100 yards in college football playoff history in a championship game. So that's a big thing. You didn't have to throw the ball, 35 times to win this game. They were able to do what they do best, and that's run behind this offensive line with 2 very good running backs. The Don woke up in the biggest game of the season with 2 massive runs that looked like the Ohio State game of last year. It was just so great to see for this team, and you guys touched on it a little bit. Sanderstill and Will Johnson.
Baller.
Absolute ballers. Your best players were stepping up in the biggest game of the season versus the best offense you played all season. So I know Penix had a bad game. so what? We made him have a bad game. I don't want to hear that he really just had an off day because this defense forced him to do that.
He's never seen that defense.
So I think it's just taking credit away from this defense when people say that.
2 more quick things real quick before we go to break. I want to throw this out there. Flannel, he had a comment here. I thought it was good. He said Blake Corum is the greatest Michigan running back in school history. What puts him over the top are his big-time runs in the biggest games.
Yeah.
Totally agree. The Ohio State game, you saw as soon as Zach Zinner went down, guess what? He had the big run, put them over the top, kind of helped solidify that game. And then you saw there yesterday, he had the 2 final touchdowns, the huge one at the end of the game to put them up 2 scores, and then one after the Sanderstill interception. And also, Mikey Sanderstill, he is a closer.
Yeah.
In the biggest games of them all, it seems like Ohio State a couple years ago, he is a closer. When you need a play on that in that secondary,
tackle,
Mikey Sanderstill, man, he is elite. He is in the biggest play. And I wrote this down here today, man. I just put big time players make big time plays in big time games, man. And I kept saying that last night. That is what those guys are on this team. And I can't wait for next year too. Hopefully a lot of these guys come back. We're actually going to get into that next segment.
Daddy.
But whoa, come on, man.
What?
Okay, I'm not judging. Just like to shoot straight.
Oh my gosh. All right. We're going to get into that coming up. We're going to talk about a little Jim Harbaugh and JJ McCarthy. Possible return, what it looks like, maybe a back-to-back national championship for the Michigan Wolverines. Almost said the Lions because we're doing that next in 2 segments as well.
We need 2 years for that.
Tell us about Mark White.
Let me tell you about Mark White Real Estate, because if you're dreaming of a home and feeling the financial pinch, you just got to contact Mark White Real Estate. Mark White and Associates, They are your trusted real estate experts. They're here to help. Mark White and his team will pay up to $5,000 of your closing costs. That's right, $5,000. So make sure to give Mark White and Associates a call today at 248-290-8242 or visit them at markwhitesells.com.
Since the dawn of moving people, Chevrolet has led the way. The world of transportation is changing. At Feldman Chevrolet, we are leading the charge forward. With every electric vehicle, every mile traveled, one Feldman at a time. The company that puts more Chevys on Michigan roads is now the #1 name for Chevy electric vehicles.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Just in time for football! Glorious! Cannabis is dropping a new ice water bubble hash infused pre-roll called Honolulu Blue. It smells so good it's like the whiff of the first playoff win in 31 years. It's a gassy, aggressive strain named in the honor of Detroit football. If you haven't had one of these ice water pre-rolls, you are missing out. So smooth. Find them at Dispo Dispensary for 25% off. Check them out online at www.gloriouscanna.com.
We are back. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder on the Woodward Sports Network. Appreciate you guys tuning in here. Beautiful Tuesday night because the Michigan Wolverines, they are national champions. It's even better. I know a couple weeks ago when we said NFC North champs for the Lions, the fact that we can say that this might be the best football year of my life. Actually, I'm going to save that because we have a question about that later. My bad. On me. On Booner. All right. Welcome in. Make sure if you guys can hit that like button for us. Everyone hit it. If you think the Detroit Lions are going to destroy Matthew Stafford and the Los Angeles Rams on Sunday, hit that like button for us. But Broder.
Yes, Booner.
Want to get into this.
Let's get into
Last thing for Michigan here. I think this is a perfect ending for us talking. And we're going to talk more Michigan throughout the week.
Happy ending.
Jim Harbaugh. I always say Harbaugh. It's Harbaugh. Harbaugh.
I don't hear the G when you say it, so you're good.
Okay.
It's like the Yaz flu.
In my head, it's a weird. It's tough. It's you can say it however you want, but it's pronunciation. But Jim Harbaugh, J.J. McCarthy, kind of going in. They're both, I think, expected to go to the NFL. That's been like the storyline, especially with Jim. But I'm gonna go into my little spiel here real quick. I have a theory, and I have a big theory. On my Twitter last night, I posted a video. And the video was an interview with Scott Van Pelt and Jim Harbaugh. And Jim went into a little rant about when they're going to start practice. And he said, typically we start practice on Valentine's Day. But after this one, I think we might hold it off for maybe about a couple more weeks or a month. And we're going to have beautiful weather in the spring in Ann Arbor. Word for word almost. Mm-hmm. He said, we're going to have beautiful weather for practice in Ann Arbor in the spring. I think what's been going on here is I do think Jim's been talking to NFL teams. I think that's been a thing. I don't think that's like fake or anything.
Yeah, he flirts.
But I think all along he wants to be in Michigan. This is where he wants to be. He wants to kind of build that legacy like a Nick Saban has right now at Alabama. He wants to do that in Michigan. Yes, he's already the greatest coach of all time in Michigan history. That is a set in stone deal. He is the best ever to coach at Michigan. Maybe any sport. Probably any sport.
They have some good coaches. Carol Hutchins, the softball coach, Red Barron. They got some really good coaches up there.
What Jim's done for this Michigan school. Like,
definitely the best Michigan football coach. Lloyd Carr, number 2, Bo, number 3.
Fair enough.
All good. But number 1, I'm with you 100%.
With that being said, I think he's going to return next year. And I think he's already had his mind set that he wants to be there. And I think he's like, I'll look at the NFL. I'm going to take a look at it. And I think all of these rumors of the NFL really, I think they're all trying to pull him away. And they're going to offer him a lot of money. I think Michigan's going to end up rolling out another contract for him in the next 7 days, and it's going to be bigger than the first one, bigger than the second one, and it's going to be an NFL contract. Neil was talking about that they need to give him an NFL deal. I think they get that done in the next 7 days, and I think Jim stays here. I think he's wanted to be in Michigan. I don't think he wants to go anywhere else, and I think when that happens as well, Jim and J.J. McCarthy have had conversations the last 2 weeks, I'm sure, about, hey, if I come back, you come back. And let's run it back, no matter what happens. And I think in the last 24 hours after they won the championship, I think they've had this conversation. I think, and I truly, truly believe this, I think in the next 7 days you'll see those two guys both come out and say they're returning to Michigan. JJ wants to help his draft stock and go up because right now he's not a first-round pick. I know he just won the national championship, didn't play like a first-round quarterback in the college football playoffs at the end of the day. Number 2, Jim wants to stay in Michigan. I think they both come back together. I think you're going to see Donovan Edwards be back. You're going to see a lot of these defensive guys come back. They're going to return a lot of defensive players, and I think they're going to try and make a back-to-back run like Georgia did the last 2 years.
And their offensive line. Return a lot of those guys,
Zach
too.
Zinner, I believe, can come back.
I'm with you. To skip ahead, I think Harbaugh's coming back, too. I think he's probably got some competitive juices that make him want to think he wants to be in the NFL, and he may still flirt, like I said, see what's out there. And I think that's why he hired Don Yee, the NFL scout, or the NFL, agent. You still got to do your research, see what's out there, and he doesn't want to be talking to teams while he's on this run. Hire an agent. He's got enough money. Hire the agent to do the due diligence and talk to him on the side. You don't have to go meet with these teams right now. So
that's a great point.
I think he's good. He might have a competitive itch to scratch, but I think the place he wants to end up is Ann Arbor. Like, this is his final destination, and I think I have no idea what the contract's going to look like, but I think it'll be in the realm of a lifetime deal.
It is. So it is a bit. This is right now. This is the biggest contract in Jim Harbaugh's life. Like, this is a huge deal for him. So him hiring that agent, getting the best agent there is, whether you're going to the NFL or staying, you want the best person doing that. This is the biggest one of his life because he just won a national championship, and he has to make one of the bigger decisions where does he want to continue his legacy at Michigan, or does he want to go to the NFL and chase a Super Bowl? Because we know the NFL today is different than when he was in the NFL. Mm-hmm. So he's got a big decision to make. I think there's people in his corner that are saying, hey, you did the NFL route. You've gone to a Super Bowl. You've been to NFC Championship games. Yes, you can still get the Super Bowl, but what you're doing at Michigan, man, is something that no one's done. Like, you have an opportunity to go do what these big-time coaches are doing at their SEC program. Like,
a real opportunity.
You have
an
opportunity to put your stamp in the college football playoff or college football in general forever if you stay and you turn this Michigan program into winning multiple, whether it's next year or not. Staying competitive. staying at the top with the Alabamas, chasing those teams, the Georgias. I think he stays now. I think he's a little bit hungry to say, like, we need to. I want to do that, so especially with his family.
Roll with me on this one. If he were to go to the NFL, if a team was to look at him, let me see if I can find the words for this. If Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn are interviewing for their jobs, they have a type of identity that comes with them, right? Whether it's an offensive-minded guy with Ben Johnson or a defensive guy, Aaron Glenn, a leader of men, that type of thing. What is Harbaugh's identity? And it might be a hypothetical question. What I'm getting at is it seems like he's built to lead a college football team, to just be the head coach of a team. This team is so close, so together. He's a kooky guy. He's a weird dude. But there's something about him in college. These kids love him. These players love him. Dude, it seems like a perfect fit.
Yes,
to college football,
and he loves Michigan.
Michigan.
He grew up here. His dad was here. Like, he loves Michigan. JJ as well too. It's like, okay, yes, you get drafted in the second round or wherever you get drafted. Guess what? You're gonna make more money here at Michigan next year. That's the thing with college football nowadays with guys that aren't top 10 picks or top 20 picks. It's, hey, if you have a chance to build a legacy at a place and go win multiple national championships or go chase a Heisman, do what you want to do, go continue your goals. You're able to do that now because there's money involved. You don't have to be like, no, I just want to go get money. Like, JJ is going to make more or the same, if not more, next year at Michigan than he would if he went in the draft. So to me, the money is out of the question. And then that's when you start breaking down. It's all about where's your heart at? And as much as you just won a national championship here, man, you love Ann Arbor, you love the school, Michigan, like you love everything about it. You want to stay, and if Harbaugh stays, that's like right away. You know that relationship that those two guys have. They talk about it all the time. They're like best friends. It seems like
in the McCarthy family and Donovan Edwards.
Yes. So when you see that. If one of those two, if Harbaugh or JJ decides to come back, the other one's coming back. Like, as soon as you get the alert for the first one, just know the other one's going to be back because they're chasing down another one. And I truly believe that. Yesterday, about 24 hours ago, right before the game, if you would have asked me, because when Jordan Schultz was putting all those tweets out saying inside of Harbaugh's circle, everyone's saying he's gone, he's going to the NFL, it's a done deal. When I saw that, I was really pissed off because I was like, dude, wait. Why don't you wait until they can play the national championship? It's the morning of. Don't need those problems. Wait. Shout out to him too, though. He does a great job. Jordan Schultz, great dude. But outside of that, is hard. Like, I was saying, it was a 2% chance he stays before the game yesterday. After seeing his interviews and what they're all about here and the money that's involved, I switched to there's like a 95% chance that he leaves or he doesn't leave, that he stays in Michigan. Nick?
Yeah, one of the key reasons why you could see these guys returning is that stacked, loaded schedule for 2024. The Michigan Wolverines host Texas, USC, and Oregon, and they have a rematch at Washington from the Natty Championship and obviously end the season at OSU. That is a crazy, ridiculous schedule, and some of the biggest games and teams that have ever come to Ann Arbor. Yeah. First year of the 12-team playoff. This whole college football season is going to look a lot different upcoming in the future here, and to have your quarterback and your elite head coach return, God, it'd be something special. And speaking of NIL, that's definitely going to be an incentive for JJ because he's the most popular Michigan player maybe ever.
Yeah.
And he is going to definitely get that bag.
Absolutely. Donovan will get money. All these guys are going to get some money, and they're going to get a lot of it. Real quick, Tony Pauline, a consulting editor and NFL draft analyst. He tweeted out about an hour ago or 57 minutes ago and said, word is the Miami Dolphins owner, Stephen Ross, will stop at nothing in his attempt to keep Jim Harbaugh with Michigan football. Okay. And obviously Ross is
there you go.
Yeah,
I was like, what?
I know.
What's happening?
Well, I saw one of these people tweet out that was Dolphins and Harbaugh, and I was like, wait a second. Yeah. What is this? But he said the owner, Stephen Ross, is going to do everything in his power to keep Jim Harbaugh. A guy like that, one of the most wealthy men in the NFL, owners in the NFL, in the world.
He owns New York and Florida and
Jim
Detroit.
Harbaugh is going to get one of the biggest contracts. He will get the biggest contract in college football history. And I'm telling you guys, like as soon as I saw that video last night, I was sitting over there with Nick. He's coming back, and JJ's coming back. Like these guys are coming back, and I didn't believe it 8 hours before I was saying that. I thought there was a 0% chance.
Yeah.
Come back, bitches! 95% chance those guys come back.
I do believe.
Remember when this happens too.
Yeah, I do believe he's going to get offered the biggest contract in college football history. I don't think he's motivated by the money at all. Like Jim Harbaugh's he wants to play with his chickens in the chicken coop in the backyard in Ann Arbor. Like, he just needs enough to have a house and drink his milk and buy some khakis. I think it's no big deal. But he's also advocating for these players to make more money. So my guess is he might even counter whatever offer they have or find some way in his contract to bring that cost down and pass some savings on to the players.
I thought of that last week. And when that first video came out of him saying coaches need to take 5 to 10% less, in my head, I was like, did he hire that agent? And did he kind of start saying this stuff because he wants to restructure his contract to help the players out?
I believe so.
And I had that thought about a week ago when that first video came out. And I was like, is that it?
I got one more thing.
Okay, hit it. I'm going to look here real quick.
Actually, 2 really quick things. How cool it would be to win the very last college football playoff national championship in the record books. That will be there forever. And then the very first in the 12-team format. There's a little something to do.
I want it.
The last point about Harbaugh, I was talking about last night, so I'll keep it brief. He wants to troll the NCAA. These investigations are not over. All he cares about, actually not all he cares about, he would thrive. All he wants to do is to be the national championship winning head coach while the NCAA is investigating. They're going back and forth, and he can just pump his chest out. He's an all-time troll in a respectful way, in a positive way. Go Blue. I love you, Jim.
Yeah, I'm excited. Hey, all national champions in here, man. All Michigan fans.
Damn right.
That's the end of the Michigan talk. Hey, we appreciate all of you guys. What a year. What a year. I don't know if you guys want to go one more segment. I feel like I don't want to end the Michigan stuff because that means the season's over.
Well, let's go to break. We'll see in the chat if they want to keep talking Michigan, or we'll pivot. Because we could talk. Because
I was thinking it today. I was going over the rundown, and Spencer's like, this will be the end of the Michigan talk for the year. And I was like, I don't know. We can still talk about it, but for the season talk, this might be it, man. They're just national champions. It's beautiful. All right, let's go to break. Let me tell you guys about Guardian Alarm. Guardian Alarm. A great defense, just like Michigan. They have customized solutions from real experts. Our professional technicians, they take the time to recommend security and automation solutions that are specific to your needs. They have 24/7 professional monitoring. You can give them a call anytime, day or night, and know that a Guardian Alarm team member, they will stay on the phone as long as needed. They have technology that is backed by people, where your safety and security deserves technology that has been proven to work and people have been proven to care. Make sure that number on the screen for a great defense, just like Michigan's defense. Call that number. It is 1-800.
Stay out.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament for you and 5 of your best buds. That's right, college basketball's most elite event. You and your 5 best friends just get to any Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically register to win the trip of your dreams. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m. Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, 2 of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder.
For over 60 years, Fairway Packing Company has provided Michigan's finest restaurants, hotels, and casinos with prime beef, dry-aged beef, and Wagyu beef. All the beef you could ask for. You can experience the Fairway difference for yourself today. Just visit the steak shop in Grosse Pointe Woods. They got grab-and-go steaks, and they are delicious. Or go online at fairwaypacking.com. Let's go. Let's go.
All right, we are back. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder on the Woodward Sports Network. Woodwardsports.com, whenever you're watching on YouTube. Appreciate you guys. Hit the like button if you haven't already. We're at 193 people here. Let's get over 150 likes here on the stream. Everyone hit it real quick. We're going to stick here. We're going to do about a half a segment here. We're going to go half and half. We're going to finish up on Michigan talk here. Broder has one thing. I have one thing. Broder, I'll let you go first here. What do you have for us? You said it's a secret. I don't even know.
It's unofficial at the moment. I don't know if it's going to work out. So just take this as speculation, not an official report.
Okay.
And I'm not going to give out who's telling me this quite yet. But there is talks. There's in the works that the money that Michigan will receive as part of the Big Ten's a pool of money for winning the national championship, they're just going to give it to the Big Ten and say F you.
Really?
Like, they're just going to say, hey, you guys can have it.
Wow.
And I've been joking about this is the first national championship for an independent school. Like, the Big Ten doesn't deserve. Taylor Lewan was talking about that. If they do something this awesomely petty,
can I ask where you saw this? Like, what is this, like, where does this come from?
Someone associated with the Big Ten Conference.
Okay. Wow. How much do they get? Do you know?
I don't.
That's interesting.
I don't.
I wonder how much they would be giving up. They really don't need the money at the end of the day, but
no, it seems like kind of a good time to troll.
Yeah, the Big Ten probably needs it more, to be honest.
They have so much money too. They're so corrupt. It's a mess.
No, it is. It is. I do want it to with all of that as well. I want to put it to bed. The cheating scandal, everything that kind of went down with that, the Connor Stallions thing. Just before we move on from Michigan, and this was a real national championship. Yeah. We can all move on from that, correct? Yeah. We can all put that to bed. Michigan State fans in the chat, everyone in the chat who's against it, it's over with. Whether they still get sanctioned or not, it's done. They went and beat Penn State, Ohio State, Alabama, and they finished it off with Washington. They beat the best teams in the country without any of the allegations or whatever it was. It's over. Deal?
What's the segment on Big D Energy? Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Do we have the dong?
This is courtesy of Big D Energy.
Yeah, courtesy of Big D Energy. We don't want to take their sound drops, but
pause.
The allegations are dead.
Everyone give your best dong.
No, come on, man.
What? A gong hit.
Gong? You said you
but a dong is the noise from that the gong makes.
All right, let's move on. Hey, Michigan national champions. Congratulations to everyone. If you're in the chat, you're a fan. We appreciate you guys all year long. Michigan tuning in on all of that stuff. They're national champions. But let's turn tables here, fellas. Mm-hmm. Big week in Detroit for the Detroit Lions. First playoff game ever. At Ford Field.
Lions
it's not just any playoff game. The old quarterback, Matthew Stafford, is coming into town. And there's been all these things. I see a lot of people on different sides of it. Listen, and I said this on Twitter to start. Enemy number one in Detroit for the next 7 days is Matthew Stafford. Enemy number one is Matthew Stafford. There is no question about it. There's nothing with it. It's not personal. It's nothing like that. I'm sure he understands. But as we get into this Rams week and all of that, we're going at everyone's head in LA. As a part of the leader of the Booner path and all of that stuff, this is the road to the Super Bowl. You don't let anyone get in the way of that, especially not Matthew Stafford, who's been here for 12 years. That should motivate you even more because he couldn't win you a playoff game. And it's no disrespect. He was one of my favorite players growing up. But he is enemy number one going forward when we get into this Rams talk, fellas. I hope none of you guys here on the show, and I hope no one in the chat is going to sit here and be like, Booner, no, there's no lovey-dovey. Next Sunday at 11 p.m. when we beat them, and he might have a press conference saying that he doesn't know if he's going to keep playing football anymore because he's too old, and he just lost to the Detroit Lions by 20 points. That is when we can start loving Matthew Stafford again. And we can start talking about whatever he wants, whether you guys want to retire his jersey or you guys want to go give him his flowers in Detroit for those 12 years. But this is a big matchup, fellas, because you can't let anything, you have to go win this game. This is one of the biggest games. And I asked KG this before, and I said I'm putting in the prep. This might be the biggest game ever in the Detroit Lions franchise history. Biggest game ever.
Wow. No doubt.
Biggest game ever. You haven't had a home playoff game in almost 30 years?
Yeah.
You haven't won a game since playoff game since the 90s? Right now, you just won 12 games. You tied your franchise record. You have the best football team that you've ever had almost in your franchise history. Herman Moore even said that he's jumping on the Booner path. Because when you have a team like this and you have a team that can compete and contend, you're going for a Super Bowl. and Stafford coming back, the everything that comes with this game, you have to go win this football game. You cannot go in there and drop this game. This is a must-win game for the Detroit Lions going forward.
Yes, it is absolutely a must-win game. In fact, if they lose, they're done. So they got to win. If they lose, they're going to be hearing about it for the next
what is it,
8-9 months. Come on, we need these guys to keep playing. It's going to be a real matchup. Matthew Stafford is the real deal. I personally don't care if you prefer to boo. You don't need to cheer for him. You either don't boo or you boo. We're not here to support Matthew Stafford. That maybe that happens next year. I get that a lot of people had memories growing up, and he's a likable guy. But right now, like Booner said, it's enemy number one. He's the quarterback of the team standing in the way of the Lions moving on in the playoffs, of the Lions Super Bowl run. So you got it. This needs to be the biggest game our defense has ever played. The offense is going to show up. I know it. I can feel it. But that defense, imagine how loud it's going to be at Ford Field.
Yeah,
like it's going to be all Lions fans too. The ticket prices that have been skyrocketing. I know there have been some people who've been upset with how expensive they got, and I understand that from the point of most normal people aren't able to go to the game, take family with it. It just gets too expensive. But at playoff tickets in the NFL, they're initially set by the NFL. They set the prices. Season ticket holders get first dibs. And then obviously Lions fans are going to be the first ones to put a deposit down on maybe being in the playoffs. So that means on the secondary market where these have skyrocketed, that's not the Lions setting those prices. Those are Lions fans keeping everybody else out.
Yep.
They either want to go so bad they're going to put the ticket up as the price they can't refuse. So if someone does want to buy it for a 200x, that's fine. Or they're not going to let anybody. They're going to let the Rams take over Ford Field like the Lions took over Lambeau or the Bucs Stadium. I think it's awesome. I think it's an underrated story going on. It's like double the price of any other playoff ticket.
And it's all the secondary market. That's the thing. ETN here in the chat said Stafford was throwing no-look passes in the Super Bowl. He ain't scared of a loud crowd. Listen, that's the thing too. Is you guys might there might be some fans out there that want to cheer on Stafford or don't boo him, don't do this. Like, hey, Stafford understand. He has been in this game for 20 plus years. He understands what's at stake. He knows the city of Detroit. He's been here for 12 years. He knows how passionate all of you guys are and we all are. So he knows that he's going into a hostile environment. He can make, and at the same time, he just won a Super Bowl a couple years ago. He can make the plays. So for us to be to give him any leeway on cheering, no, go at his head. Mm-hmm. If you give him that much leeway, he's going to beat you. Go at his head. Go at that Rams team head. Sean McVay. Go at this is a good football team. This is a team we have to take serious. And I think a lot of people are overlooking it a little bit. No, this is a real team. Especially with what's at stake.
I've spoke or maybe tweeted more about Jared Goff getting snubbed over Matthew Stafford for the Pro Bowl this year. But there's no denying how talented Matthew Stafford is and the things he can do with that football. He's never out of it. We saw it while he's here. He's never out of a game.
Nope.
He didn't carry us to the finish line.
He almost ended Tom Brady's career.
Yeah. So we got to take these guys seriously. Whether we're the 2 seed and they're the 7 seed, you got to take them seriously. What's up, Nick?
Yeah, you guys know I will be in attendance. Not a chance I'm missing this game. And a lot of people have been asking me if I'm gonna cheer for Matthew Stafford on his return to Detroit.
I'm not going to, so quit asking.
Hell no, I am not cheering for this dude, Matthew Stafford. In what world? Some of these fans, honestly, it blows my mind. You're riding this dude's coattails. He is not a quarterback. He is not a Detroit Lion. It blows my mind. I know how much that this dude has done for the city of Detroit and all of our football fandom. He's never won a playoff game here. We know he's a great quarterback, but he never did it here. The fact that they ride his coattails so hard, it's absolutely blasphemy. One more thing. This city has been waiting for a winner, and now the fact that we finally have one, we're going to just be super nice to our old quarterback who went and asked for a trade out of here and won a Super Bowl. That's what we're going to do? No. At least I will not be. I will be in attendance. I will be loud. I will be booing. That place is going to be absolutely insane. I'm just so fired up to be there. It's going to be a crazy game.
So, Nick, just want to make sure you are cheering for Matthew Stafford?
I'm not going to.
Okay.
So quit asking.
Just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, you say stop asking.
He want to make sure we straighten that out there. You are not cheering for Matthew Stafford.
Not cheering.
I
not
love that.
Chance.
Hey, no, I'm with you on that. I don't think anyone should be. Now, I get the thing, maybe like the whole booing thing. Like Glover Quinn went on the heavyweights, shout out at them, but he went on the heavyweights and said he doesn't understand why people would boo Matthew Stafford, just because like we don't boo, like Lions fans don't boo any other quarterbacks. So I kind of get that, like if you're just going out of your way, but it's the playoffs. You could boo. You can go at them, man. Like he's the quarterback that's coming in. Whether it's the playoffs and Patrick Mahomes, whoever it is coming in, Lions fans should be going at him. And then they should make it a tough environment to play in one of the toughest in the NFL.
Loud.
It is.
Loud.
And you guys get to be there. I'm kind of jealous.
Do we know? Speaking of being there or not, do we know if Jeff Iafredi is confirmed in attendance or not?
I don't know if he will, but I will make sure personally. No matter what happens, I will make sure he is not there.
Eduardo O'Neill will be. He reminded us of
I will make sure he is not.
Jeff's wreck. I love you, Jeff.
Just keep reminding me, and I'll make sure. I love you, Jeff, too.
Also, speaking of that last game against the Vikings and this upcoming one, they did fireworks before the players were announced on our defense. That was super electric in Ford Field. I'm hoping we get more fireworks for this playoff game. I don't think they would do it 1 week and then not do it for the playoff game. So that's going to be
fireworks
electric.
Inside.
Yes, inside.
It was litty titty. It was
nuts.
wild.
No way.
Because they were right in front of my in the press box. We're right up at the top. They were like right there, coming out of the rafters. It was like when they started announcing the lineups. If Melifano
you could do that?
got louder and louder. Gardner Johnson
saw
got
the
louder
Gardner
and louder.
Johnson one.
And then I think. Was it Hutch the next one?
I think Anzalone closes it out.
It was like announcing these players. It was loud.
I don't know why they don't announce Hutch last. They should do that.
Let's do that then. You guys, we were just talking about that game. Let's talk
captain.
about this game then when we come back. Let's break that down a little bit. There was a lot of things that happened, and that's kind of heading into kind of recap this last Vikings game a little bit and kind of transition into this next game. Let me tell you guys, though, real quick about Planet Fitness. It is the home of the judgment-free zone where anyone, and we mean anyone, can feel comfortable and work on their fitness goals. At Planet Fitness, you will experience squeaky clean gyms that has tons of equipment, full-body workout in just 30 minutes, and all memberships. They include fitness training. Get all that for just $10 a month, no commitment. No matter where you are, there is a Planet Fitness close by. There are more than 50 in the Metro Detroit area and thousands throughout the world. Make sure you guys check Planet Fitness out, where your fitness is essential.
Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, two of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder.
Savor the heart of home at Big Boy with our all-new Down Home Comfort Dishes. Feast on home-style goodness with our Southern Comfort Chicken Bowl, veal parmigiana, and apple pie hotcakes. The Down Home delight doesn't stop there. Potato pancakes are back. Dive into the richness of our perfectly crafted potatoes with our classic potato pancakes and our stuffed potato pancakes. Top off your meal with our new gingerbread shake, a seamless blend of creamy vanilla and sweet gingerbread flavors. Nothing beats the comforting taste of Down Home cooking. Enjoy every bite, only at Big Boy.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions Show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
Give your pet the best. That means going to Premier Pet Supply, because they're hands down Michigan's best pet store. They got the same great prices and all the convenience of the online and the big box retailers, with one major difference. They are locally owned and operated here in the state of Michigan for over 30 years. They got over 60 brands of food with nutrition experts for you. You can get same-day local, curbside, and home delivery. It's incredible. Premier Pet Supply. Give your pet the best. www.premierpetsupply.com.
All right, welcome back. It is Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder on the Woodward Sports Network. Appreciate you guys tuning in here. Michigan, national champions. Detroit Lions, NFC North champions. And we're talking them here. Just beat the Minnesota Vikings 30-20, I believe was the score. Finished the regular season 12-5. tying the franchise record for most wins in a season.
How about that?
Huge year.
How about it?
Massive year. As much as there was a lot of up and downs. It was a football season in the NFL, man. There was a lot of up and downs. The Cowboys game, the Ravens game. The Seahawks at the beginning of the year. There was just a lot of beating the Chiefs in Arrowhead. There was a lot of things that kind of went down and happened. So it was a long season. I thought it was a great season, though.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you won the NFC North for the first time in 30 years, and then you finish it off with the win at home versus the Vikings. I thought as well, too, before we get into this whole injury situation and everything that happened, I did think that it was a game that helped kind of get some of these guys, not everyone, but helped get this team elevated forward.
Yeah.
The offense started to look a little bit better, kind of got a little bit of a rhythm, which you were missing in Dallas. Defense continued to get turnovers, even though you just keep giving up 200 yards to wide receivers. I
hate it.
It's very scary. But you're still getting takeovers and turnovers and winning the football game, which is, if you're giving up those yards, I'll take it. Biggest takeaways from that game, though, I want to kind of get into those. My biggest one, I'm just going to keep going, the turnovers, man. Mm-hmm. Getting takeaways. Being able to see CJ kind of close the game out. CJ Gardner-Johnson closed the game out. I know some people, I didn't mean, close the game out. Ended the game. Big pick. I just think that's going to be that piece on this defense is taking the ball over in the playoffs when you get there. If you have that as your kind of what's the word I'm looking for that AG said the other day?
Adjustments?
No, as like your
mentality, your heart.
Mentality, yeah. I'm losing the word here. There's one word that AG used specifically that he said, and I can't think of it. But I'll go to you, Broder, here with your takeaway for the game. Biggest takeaway.
Yeah, it was that they played so hard, knowing there was likely nothing on the line. Dan Campbell had this team ready. They believed in his strategy of playing. They were with him. He sat Kaminsky. He thought Kaminsky was the one guy that probably needed a blow to just get healthy or to get his body back for the postseason. But no, they went out there and they looked like the exact same Lions that we've seen for most of this season. Like it didn't.
DNA. That's the word.
DNA.
Turnovers. Having that in your DNA heading into the playoffs. Sorry about that.
Interesting. No, I
popped into my head as soon as I heard it. I just boom.
I'm glad, but the DNA, that's part of what playing this game does. Like what I was worried about when you when you play players in a game like that is that they aren't 100% or they don't have the exact same mentality. So when that happens, like we talked about on Friday, that's when you get injured. Yep. When you pull back and the other team is going as hard as they were, they didn't do that. And unfortunately, injuries happened, but this team had in their DNA, they looked like the Detroit Lions team that I want to see in the playoffs. Not saying everything was perfect and that there aren't things to clean up, but their mentality, how they played on defense, especially in many aspects of the defensive game, was huge. Special teams looked great, minus the missed extra point, which was whack. But Khalif Raymond was great. Jack Fox was great. The punt and kick return coverage was great.
Jack Campbell looked like I know you're talking about Jack Campbell on defense.
Go off,
man.
Season high in tackles, right? I believe.
Yes, 12 tackles, man.
Yeah.
7 solo.
He's
tackle for a
improving.
loss. He got a sack. Like he's starting to get into his own. That's all it is. Like, as you're a rookie linebacker, man, it's a tough position to get used to. Once you get going and you become yourself and you become that, like, you don't have any worries and you're good to go, that's when you're kind of elite. And like being who you are comes out. He's elite, or he's gonna be elite. Whether if you don't think he is yet, he's gonna be that dude. And having him and Enzo the next couple of years, like that's gonna be like that. That's gonna be a problem. That's a unit right there, man.
And what they were doing, and was highlighted at the end of the game with Josh Reynolds trying to get him his bonuses. That speaks so much to this team too, and this coaching staff, and there are so many players out there that are now looking at Detroit, and maybe it started this season, looking at Detroit in a different realm, as the Detroit Lions as a real football team, a real organization, a place where you may want to come to play football and not be on the worst team in the league. Things like that, where you're able to get a guy like Josh Reynolds, his 600 get him yardage over 600, so that he can get his $250,000 bonus. You could tell at the beginning of the game, whether it was Jared Goff or Dan Campbell as a strategy, they were targeting Amon-Ra St. Brown, who was pissed about getting snubbed about a Pro Bowl. Like, all those things factor into why they play so hard for Goff or for Campbell or for St. Brown. Like, it feels a lot like the Michigan team.
In a game like that as well. And to be honest, like playing these guys, we said it last week, it's like this game was about gaining momentum, keeping momentum from Dallas. Like you didn't want to sit guys and not have that momentum, and you wanted to make sure if you had a chance at the 2 seed, you can get it done. Aiden Hutchinson as well. Like I'm going to name a couple guys who gained that momentum and kept things going. If you sit Hutch after he just had a couple big games and you end that momentum that he had, and then maybe he doesn't have that, he went in and had one of the biggest games as well. Right after the 3-sack Dallas game, he had 2 sacks, 3 tackle for losses, and 5 quarterback hits. Hutch is heating up right now. He's becoming one of the best players. In my opinion, might be one of the best. Like he's starting to be that elite guy that we wanted all year long. He's starting to become that at the perfect time in the playoffs. And he's hopefully next versus the Rams, versus not really that, like Stafford can get around a little bit, but not like a super mobile Matthew Stafford. He's going to get home and he's going to make play. He's going to make plays for sure. Also, another guy that kind of started getting a little bit momentum and looked really good. Your guy, Jared Goff, 320 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, no turnovers, 23 for 32. That was a perfect game for him to kind of get a feel for things again, get back in his rhythm. Yes, he struggled the last couple, or maybe last week in Dallas, the offense didn't feel. Jared Goff got back in rhythm, and you saw what he did in multiple games. Perfect timing for the playoffs.
And real quick, on top of just getting in rhythm, you said 320 total yards?
Yeah.
310 yards of which came when the Minnesota Vikings were blitzing. Ooh. So against Minnesota, I believe he's 43 of 55 for 497 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. That is just one team, so take it for what it is. But the questions I have about Goff are when pressure comes, how can he react? And he's showing he has that. He has that in him for sure. So
I do get to quarterback. I was like on the stream, I was a little upset when Sam Laporta went down. Like,
it's tough.
It's a tough thing to position, especially like I heard a lot of people like can't blame Dan, can't blame the front, you can't blame anyone really. Like that was just a situation to where you can't like sit everyone, you can't sit all the starters, and then at that point you get into picking and choosing. You have to make sure you win the game because we saw Dallas. It was a 1-possession game and almost at halftime before they scored that last. So like you have to win the game. You have to. But then you'd say, all right, who do you sit and choose? Now, to me, the only argument I made was Sam Laporta is the top 3 tight end in the NFL right now.
Facts.
Travis Kelce sat out. I know he's a vet and he's old, but he's a top 3 tight end. When you have a guy that's top 5 at their position, I think maybe it's like, okay, can we win without him? Can you do that? And that's where I kind of got into it. And the same with like St. Brown playing. Like I know St. Brown wanted to go prove stuff, and we're going to talk about that. Actually, we can kind of get into that as well. But
level of importance in terms of offense. Yes. Who could you lose? Goff, to me, St. Brown, and then Laporta is number 3.
In the end, Panay, like there's certain guys to me that it's like, but like tight end around the NFL, not a lot of depth on each team, right? So it's like look at your depth. Who can you take out that you know you're not going to have the depth in the playoffs if you lose someone? That's where I kind of went with it. I think they're going to be just fine, to be honest.
They might even get Sam Laporta back. Like each day they're getting a little better news. I don't want to jinx it, but
I'm excited to see tomorrow what comes
tomorrow
out.
We'll hear. And that was the sort of timeline Dan Campbell said Monday that we'll know more in about 48 hours. He spoke on the radio this morning that it's even more optimistic than they thought. They're not committing to anything.
It may end up being a scenario though to where it's like he plays limited snaps, he's suited up, little decoy situation, which helps. Like it's better than nothing.
100%.
100%. They don't need to know that.
I just worry. I would love for that. I don't know much about a knee or the medical side of it, but how much that does it affect his route running more or his blocking, like getting low? Because he's been so clutch, not every game, but he's been a very good extension of that offensive line. A lot of the things Ben Johnson likes to do with this offense to confuse people, to get him open on his 10th touchdown of the year. Those are things that are set up by him in the blocking game. So,
Did you see the play on Amon-Ra St. Brown when he got hurt?
Oh, when the guy
I noticed it in live time. I said something on the show. I was like, that guy literally just put his knee down in it. Like he just pushed down. It was a dirty play. He should be fine.
Was he not fine? Well, because Amon-Ra was fined $42,000 for a block.
Maybe he was fine. I just didn't see it.
What was the guy's name?
I'm not sure. It was like 97, I believe, on the team.
Okay.
Phillips,
you guys in the chat, while we're talking in the chat, let us know who the player was who kneed Amon-Ra St. Brown in the ribs. That
should be fine, because that was live time watching it. I noticed it. I was like, he just did that, and then St. Brown got up holding his rib. I'm guessing he has a bruised rib or a broken rib. He'll be fine and play through it because you're in the playoffs, so it doesn't matter. But that's just something you shouldn't like.
I hope it's not serious. I was worried, and I don't know much about the Minnesota Vikings team, but there was a lot of talk after the first Vikings game when we won that they thought the hit on Hawkinson that tore his ACL, they thought that was dirty, which I don't believe it was.
No.
So you never know how some team or one player is gonna come back at them, or all you need is one dirty player to screw up everything.
Right.
Hopefully St. Brown isn't out with anything serious. He's not out. Sorry, he is not out. I'm glad he did not suffer a serious
don't
injury.
do that to us, dude. Jeez, man. He did in St. Brown though. Can we talk about him real quick?
We can talk about him.
I put
as
in
long
here.
as you
It was
want.
Harrison Phillips, by the way. I just looked it up. Harrison Phillips.
He's a vet.
He is. That was unbelievable. At the end of the day, though, I'm gonna St. Brown. Kidji, can you throw my tweet up? I know we have a segment later about St. Brown. Wanted to throw this up though, because he had a game, and he's going to be my player of the game versus this Vikings team. 7 catches, 144 yards, a touchdown, 10 targets, averaged 20 yards per catch. Had a game, guys. And after this, he kind of went out and said in the media, I wonder how many. He basically said, I wonder how many 1,000 yards or 1,500 yard, 10 touchdown guys never made a Pro Bowl. So I went and I did a little. I did some
research.
Digging. I did some digging, and this is what I came up with here. I didn't go all the way back. I went back 7 years. There's been 5 wide receivers, 5 total wide receivers in the last 7 seasons that have had 1,500 yards and 10 touchdowns. 5 in 7 seasons. That's not counting this year. 5, man. There's been some years where there's been none, and he did it this year. Got snubbed from the Pro Bowl.
Not a Pro Bowler.
Over 1,500 yards, 10 touchdowns, 119 receptions, 6-point yards per game. It has to be the biggest snub. He needs to be an all-pro player. You guys are going to see at 9:30, we're going to get into some of his stats. He has some more stats and NFL things that he kind of broke this year. Shout out to him for going out there in the final game of the season, Broder, man.
Yeah,
and doing what he did.
Through the first 3 seasons of a wide receiver's NFL career and team history, St. Brown has the most catches, receiving yards, scrimmage yards, and receiving first downs. I see a lot of Herman Moore and Kelvin Johnson right around him.
Yeah,
he's either 1 or 3
you just got
or 2,
Amon-Ra St. Cloud.
but it's those 3 just hanging out together. It's special, and it's special. I want him to get. I take it personal about him not getting snubbed, not because the Pro Bowl is relatively meaningless or completely meaningless, but being a 4th-round pick. And actually, I haven't confirmed if he has the bonus, but I sort of assume that each player has at least some bonus for making a pro, like for normal achievements.
Well, even if you don't, you get like on your contract, like that's like negotiation. Like, hey, I was always a Pro Bowler, like,
right? So that's all
part of it.
Means
man.
so
like,
much more to him
money.
as a 4th-rounder than others.
Yeah. And did you guys see his hair? The blue hair.
I did.
Coming back,
he changed his hair color?
He dyed his hair.
Nice.
I'll send you the picture. We'll put it up when we come back.
Okay.
I want to show the people that it actually looks good. It doesn't look bad, man.
It's kind of
Honolulu blue. It's weird, but
It's
I
like
think
Jeremy Shohan.
I'm ready for it, man. It's like Ninja.
Yeah.
The gamer, the blue hair. He tweeted it out as well.
At
On
Woodward Sports, right?
Sports too. Yeah. He did. All right.
No way.
Yeah, he did. When we come back, we're gonna keep this thing rolling here about the Detroit Lions. Confidence level. I have a question for you guys.
Ooh.
About the confidence level of this Lions team.
Daddy,
let me tell you guys about Hamlin Pub, though. Have you ever wanted a bar where you are a regular? We have just the place for you. That is Hamlin Pub. Head over to one of 7 locations and experience where everyone is a regular. Whether you're enjoying half-off pizza on Thursdays or game day specials available during all Michigan sports and NFL games, Hamlin Pub, it is the place to be. Those wings right there, I had them a couple weeks ago. Best in the state, man. Visit the location today and experience your new favorite pub for all things sports.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions Show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com. Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot off the press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
Because you might have football in the brain, because I do too.
You do?
This winter, this fall, this spring, I'm thinking about football. Because after this season,
football.
Yes, this is my school. This is the Fab Five. This is Jimmy King. We got the Kings of the North in Detroit here. This time of year is also a perfect time to shop your home and auto insurance. That's what you need to do with Swiss Insurance. You got to shop it like a pro. That means calling and asking for Mark at SwissINS.com or giving him a call at 248-800-4177. Do it because I told you to.
Ooh.
Okay.
You heard him.
Okay.
You heard him. That's a national champion over there.
Swiss INS.
All right, welcome back. It is Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder on the Woodward Sports Network. If you guys haven't yet, hit that like button. Let's get to 150. A lot of people watching the show. Let's get to 150 likes here. If you get to 150 likes, I don't know. The Detroit Lions will beat Matthew Stafford and the Los Angeles Rams. So we better get to 150 likes.
Is that Booner guarantee?
It's a guarantee.
You gonna give him a player prop?
It's a guarantee.
Smart.
All right.
Little player prop.
Real quick.
You were telling me about something over the break. Dropping? What is today?
First of all,
okay, got you.
Before
sorry.
that, want to show this picture real quick.
New hair, who dis?
I'm still getting it up.
Still get up. All right. With that,
That's
if you
what
guys
she said.
didn't see, Amon-Ra St. Brown.
That's what he said.
He's in playoff mode.
Dude.
I hope this starts a trend for him in years to come. He's going to be in Detroit for a long time. I hope every year it's like, hey, go back to your normal hair for this regular season. When playoffs come, it's time to get the hair, and it's time to turn it up. All I'm thinking about right now is Amon-Ra St. Brown holding up the Lombardi Trophy with some blue hair. That's all I'm thinking about, man.
Got the rock.
That's
time
all
to roll.
it is. And two, on top of that, his podcast dropped today. I think we talked about it on the break here, Broder. The new narrative, and we're stating this. Oh, here it is. There it is.
Hey,
the blue hair.
He's like
How
a Super
about that?
Saiyan, man.
Man,
Super Saiyan level 3.
I'm a
killing
fan,
spree.
man. If you do that, that's playoff hair right there.
Yeah,
It's playoff hair.
it is.
You
playoff
cannot
hair.
wear that hair and not ball out.
And no, he's about to go off.
Yeah.
Can you guys not? Can you throw that up there one more time?
I got you.
I want everyone in the chat right now to put a W or something. If you, I can see that right there, that hair holding up a Lombardi Trophy. That's a Lombardi hair right there. That's a Super Bowl winning wide receiver's hair.
If we go to the Super Bowl, Booner, this one's from Freddie Feltz, our guy. Booner's path to a blue mullet.
They tried in
If we go to
heavyweights.
the Super Bowl?
Literally, as soon as my mom sent me a message and said, "You better." My mullet is coming in very good, by the way. I've gotten a lot of compliments the last couple days, and it is. In person, it's even better.
You're just gonna go just the tips?
Let me hit that.
No, my mom messaged me, said, and I know I'm old now, 26 years old, so I could probably do whatever I want, but you know how it is.
Probably do it.
Mom, the meatloaf.
When your mom texts you and says, "Hey, don't do something," she said, "You better not dye your hair." So probably
Gotta
won't
listen to
do it.
mama.
Yeah, I probably won't. There's an
Mama,
extent.
mama
She told me not to do a mullet, and I did a mullet. So the hair, I got to respect one of them. I want to bring this up though, real quick. We're not gonna skip this topic, but I want to kind of we'll push it back. We talked about it on the break. Amon-Ra St. Brown dropped the podcast today, and when our show's over, you guys can go watch it. But the title of it was Jared Goff's Revenge Game. And we mentioned on the break when we were off air, that needs to be the narrative going forward, fellas. This game needs to be, we don't care about the Stafford return because we're not cheering for him.
It's not. It's Jared Goff's house now. He's coming to Jared Goff's house.
This is Jared Goff's revenge game to go beat Sean McVay, to beat the Rams. They're coming into our house. They're coming here. They should be the ones under pressure being like, oh my gosh, we have to go play the Detroit Lions. And I think that's where things are getting a little misconstrued here because we're all like, oh, we have to play Matthew Stafford. No, they have to play us.
Yes.
They have to play Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions and Dan Campbell. And they got to deal with all of you fans in the stands, man. This is a problem for them. I think this Lions team I think this is going to be scary for them.
They're not a team that anybody wants to play.
No.
We hyper-focus on Stafford coming back and the Rams and that has just become the story in Detroit. But they sure as hell don't want to play the line. They were trying to avoid it. Yeah. They were doing everything they could to avoid it. Good old Carson Wentz led them to a win over the 49ers. But no, this team, we're talking about a top 3 offense. We're talking about an improving defense that their best trait is probably their ability to take the ball away now. And that's where you got to get Stafford. So, they got a good part of their success has been because of Kyren Williams, their Pro Bowl running back, who I don't think was snubbed. That was don't think was wrongly voted in. I think DeAndre Swift was wrongly voted in.
Yep.
But we have one of the best run defenses in the this defense is improving.
KG?
Yeah, and just like you got to believe that this is really a bigger game for Goff when you think about it. Stafford got his ring. He's good. No matter what happens in this game, he's chilling. Goff is the one that got discarded like trash. Goff is the one who had a coach that met up in Cabo with Stafford on some heat of the night type stuff, and went and got the man behind his back essentially. And Goff is built for this, man. He's been to a Super Bowl, but he's also performed in primetime games. Not to mention what we've done this year, but we've seen Goff take off in these kind of games. I want to bring up the Patrick Mahomes game from a couple years ago, the Monday Night Football. He's built for primetime TV. This is going to be a huge game for him to prove the doubters wrong, to get back at his old coach, get back at his old franchise. He wants this one bad, and the guys are going to get up for him. Pause. But yeah, just expect JG to come out. He's going to be on fire, man. I think he's going to give us the best game he's played so far as a Lion.
Do you know what's perfect about all this as well? And this isn't to take anything away from Jared Goff, is in his career, this is the best offensive line he's had. I know he's had a really good running back, but best running back duo, the weapons he has, the defense isn't maybe the best he's ever had, but this is right now, in my opinion, has you could argue might be one of the best positions he's been in to go out there and compete and play at the highest level. On top of that as well is when he did, we mentioned this last week, when he did leave LA, he sat down with Sean McVay and said, what do I need to do? Like what went wrong and what was I not good at? And he got all those notes and said, all right, I need to work on this. And he got better at everything that he was bad at in LA. And he kind of changed and revitalized his career here in Detroit. And I think this is a whole new Jared Goff. He's got a whole new team around him. He has the best offensive line in the NFL. He has some of the best running backs in the NFL, the weapons, one of the best tight ends, right receivers. Like, he has everything now. Everything. He has Ben Johnson, the best OC in the NFL. Like, this is a great position for him to be in, compared to what maybe he wasn't a great position in LA, but when he started becoming the scapegoat and things started going really bad, it was like, that's a tough spot to be in. And now he's been able to revitalize his career, and I think it's like he's taken it. It's one of those things to where you could say, on the other side, like McVay's like, I'm going to go beat. Like, Jared Goff, if anyone is taking this game personal, it's not Matthew Stafford, because he's like KG said, he has his ring. Sean McVay has his ring. He knows what Jared Goff is taking this game personal.
Oh yeah,
this is a personal game for him. This isn't like oh my gosh, I have to go up against Sean McVay. No. Like, he's like, I want to go beat them by 30. Like, this is a very, very personal game for Jared Goff. And when you see guys, and especially competitors that are in the NFL, the highest competitors in the world, that's when they shine in those moments. And he has shown he can. As many ducks or whatever that's when guys shine. I think Jared Goff has a big game on Sunday, and I think he's been waiting for this moment versus the Rams.
Yeah, and if there's
on this stage, man, like
yeah, and you think this is Jared Goff is kind of Sean McVay's the one that got away. Like he dumped Goff and got married to Stafford, and they celebrated. It was a good wedding, but you're now going to see your ex, and he's got a new girl. He has a real girl in his real life, but he's got a new girlfriend, and she's looking pretty good right now. Like you just said, this offense is dynamic.
Yep.
It's dynamic all over the place. If there's one weakness of the Rams defense, it's probably their youth and inexperience. I think they've overachieved this year, and that might be the norm. They may have overachieved what we thought at the beginning, but it's you can't make up for experience. They have it with Aaron Donald and a couple guys, but especially that secondary. They're young. They weren't planning to be this good. So when you have an offense with 4 different players that accumulate 850 scrimmage yards, 10 scrimmage touchdowns this season, that's the first quartet in NFL history to each post those numbers. That's insane.
And you know what, too? This is why I didn't really want to, like, have this Rams. Like, I kept saying I wanted the Packers. It's because, like, the talk is Stafford. Like, that's, like, go over all media, every another sports network around here. The talk is Matthew Stafford. And that's what I didn't want. Like, this Detroit Lions team has done something that no one's done in 30 years, and they're getting talked over by Matthew Stafford, someone that we've talked about for 12 years. And then that's where it's like, okay, just go beat this team, end this. End all of this conversation. Like that's why I was like, I want the Packers, because I didn't want this whole narrative of, oh, Stafford's coming into town. Like I get it. Yes, it's cool. It's an awesome storyline. It's great probably for our show in ratings all week and next week. But it's just, this team's done something unbelievable, and they have a chance. And this is maybe the Booner path of me with the tunnel vision coming out. They have a chance to go compete for a Super Bowl and make a run at it. And now all people are like, it's a Stafford story. Man, we did that for 12 years. This is Jared Goff. This is Amon-Ra St. Brown. This is Sam Laporta, Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes, Ben Johnson, Aiden Hutchinson, Anzalone, CD. This is like, let's start talking about them. Like, they're going to dominate Matthew Stafford, and that's kind of, I think, on our show, that's what the storyline's going to end up being. Am I wrong?
Booner, to that point, you think about these top players and leaders for this team: St. Brown, Sewell, Hutch. This is their first taste of the playoffs. And to get that game at home in front of all these fans, you know that they're going to come out ready to rock, especially with that Honolulu blue hair.
Let's go.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go.
Broder, all right, let's go to break. When we come back, have some graphics, too, kind of with all of this and the Amon-Ra St. Brown stuff, and we just talked about his hair and all of that. He did some things this year that are unbelievable.
Especially for a non-pro player.
Unbelievable. And I can't believe. When I saw it, I was shocked. Broder, tell us about Dispo, though.
Yeah. This is necessary if you're concerned about who votes for these things. Anyway, start the year lifted. Visit Dispo Dispensary today for exclusive deals. They got an exclusive team that curates an unbelievable atmosphere. They got fresh inventory from Michigan's largest variety of products. Come through their stores or order on Dispo today. New year, new deals. Same plug. Dispo Dispensary, DispoShots.com. Your local cannabis plug.
How would you like to win not one, but 2 vehicles of your choice? One for you and one for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Get to Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut and automatically enter for your chance to win. Courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. Lady Jane's, open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome. Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Savor the heart of home at Big Boy with our all-new down-home comfort dishes. Feast on home-style goodness with our Southern Comfort Chicken Bowl, veal parmigiana, and apple pie hotcakes. The down-home delight doesn't stop there. Potato pancakes are back. Dive into the richness of our perfectly crafted potatoes with our classic potato pancakes and our stuffed potato pancakes. Top off your meal with our new gingerbread shake, a seamless blend of creamy vanilla and sweet gingerbread flavors. Nothing beats the comforting taste of down-home cooking. Enjoy every bite, only at Big Boy.
Since 1996, Feldman Automotive has provided a world-class car buying experience called the Feldman Advantage. They got 18 locations here in Michigan, so there's got to be a dealership in your backyard somewhere. You just got to visit feldmanauto.com to find a location nearest you. Also, check out Woodward Sports there every other Monday. Hey-o. It's what makes Feldman Chevrolet Detroit's #1 Chevy dealer.
All right, we are back. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder.
We're back.
On the Woodward Sports Network. Appreciate you guys tuning in. We're at 108 likes. Let's get to 125 here by the end of the segment. We have 190 people watching. Let's get up to 125, and then we'll hit 150 by the end of the show. Want to do this. KG, can you throw that Amon-Ra St. Brown picture up again one more time? The hair, please.
Oh,
yeah.
I got you.
I'm blue. I'm
Before
a
we get into
guy.
Look at this. That's a Pro Bowl snub right there.
Yeah.
Pro Bowl snub.
1,500 yards.
Super Saiyan God.
If the NFL, guys, has any sort of respect and integrity at all, guess what's going to happen? He will be named an All-Pro.
He freaking better.
First team All-Pro. I've got some graphics that the Detroit Lions put out throughout the day today, if this doesn't prove that he should be a first-team All-Pro wide receiver, and I've said this a lot already. A month ago, we had this conversation about how he should be an All-Pro first team. KG, you could throw either one of the Amon-Ra ones up whenever. Right. There's 2 of them there, and we can just go off either one. I'm going to name some stats off here, though, for you guys real quick. Amon-Ra St. Brown. In the NFL, this is where he leads. He's 3rd in the NFL in yards, total yards. Only played in 16 games. Missed a game. Receptions. He is tied for second with 119 receptions, tied with Tyreek Hill. Both of them played in 16 games, only behind CD Lamb.
Tyreek Hill was consistently in the MVP conversation.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, sorry.
And he's pro bowler, and I'm sure he's going to be a first-team All-Pro.
Yeah, sorry.
He is, and I don't know, I'm going to take Justin Jefferson and Keenan Allen out because they only played 10 and 13 games. We're talking about full season here. Mm-hmm. Tyreek Hill, CD Lamb, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Total yards per game, 94.7 yards per game. Every single category, he is top 3. And on top of that, he is tied for 4th in the NFL with wide receivers with 10 total touchdowns. On top of that, fellas, look at this. Both of these. Shout out to KG. He just cooked.
Just put that together all
Not just one NFL accomplishment, but 2. He leads the whole NFL in yards after catch.
Wow.
He is the yak king in the NFL this year. 677 yards after catch. On top of that, A.J. Brown, Pro Bowler, probably going to be an All-Pro player. The only thing people were talking about all year was how he kept getting all of these 100-yard games and how cute it was that he could get these 100-yard games, and that was how good. Oh, this is A.J. Brown. He's so great. He can get 100 yards for 6 straight games, whatever it is. Guess who led the league in 100 yards receiving games? Amon-Ra St. Brown with 9. 9 out of his 16 games, he had over 100 yards. At this point, it is disrespectful. Mm-hmm. If the NFL has any integrity whatsoever, if they have any sort of spine, Roger Goodell should step. That man better be on an All-Pro team, or we're going to go riot. We're going to go protest. That man deserves it. Because he isn't due for a contract, and if he doesn't get an All-Pro in his, like, what are we doing here? What's the point of all of these awards if we're just going to go favoritism and we're not going to look at production on the field? He is one of the best. He's a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL this year. Done. No one can say anything about it. Top 5.
You said this. We started talking about this 4 weeks ago.
We talked
after
about
that Chicago game.
Month ago. We've been talking about him being in that conversation so long ago.
Right. But it heated up after probably his worst game of the season in Chicago, where he had 3 catches for 21 yards. Since then, Booner, these last 4 games, 7 for 112 and a touchdown, 12 for 106 and a touchdown, 6 for 90 and a touchdown, 7 for 144 and a touchdown. He's just continued to produce. And what I don't understand, whether you go statistics, he beats 3 other receivers in most major categories that were voted ahead of him. And if you want to take the statistics out of it and say what he has around him, all those other receivers, those 3 other receivers that he's ahead, have either a Pro Bowl quarterback or the first alternate in front of Jared Goff.
Yeah,
it doesn't make any sense. I just don't know where this came from. This came from the coaches and the players voting, not the fan voting.
Yeah,
I don't get it. It makes me feel like I don't know football at all.
It is. It's weird. And on top, like the Puka Nacua thing, right? Like he had a great year.
Yeah.
He broke the rookie record in yards, which has been there since I think the 1960s or something crazy. Like he had an insane season. Just because as a rookie you have that season doesn't mean it puts you over guys who are. Amon-Ra St. Brown beat Puka Nacua in every single stat. Every single stat. Someone give me a stat where Puka Nacua was better than Amon-Ra St. Brown, and I will sit here. And he played in one more game.
Rush attempts.
I will sit here in any receiving category. I will sit here. I would love for someone in the NFL to tell me where Amon-Ra St. Brown didn't beat Puka Nacua in, because he did it in everything. It's a popularity contest that just because he had one of the best rookie years of all time, which is awesome. We're talking about Pro Bowl and All-Pro. This wasn't a rookie award. This was who's the best at your position. Puka Nacua, just because he had the best rookie season receiver ever, doesn't mean he had one of the best seasons in the NFL ever. Because Amon-Ra, like these guys are, we're talking about the full NFL, not just rookies. It's ridiculous. Do you guys have Nick, KG, anything on this Amon-Ra thing?
Well, I mean, it is disrespectful, and I mean, he should be an all-pro at this point, but he's just going to continue to get better. I know a lot of argument was made about, like, do you want Jameson, to be the number one, or do we got to go get a number one receiver? What if Amon-Ra is the number one? And what if he's been that the whole time and we just didn't realize it? The guy just continues to get better and better and better. And like you said, he's getting up there with the Calvins of the world and the Herman Moores of the world. He's already making his place, and it's only his, third year?
Yeah.
It's disrespectful, man. But like you said, it's a popularity contest. We know how this thing goes. But he just got to keep balling, man. Keep shutting the doubters up. I expect him to have a big game as well in this playoff game. So watch out for that.
Nick, real quick, I just want to address this comment. ETN in the Woodward Sports Chat. Appreciate
Stop
you tuning in.
addressing that, dude.
Negative
all day.
Let me address the comment. He said, best rookie year of all time, deserve a Pro Bowl.
No.
Amon-Ra ain't breaking records. Listen, just because you break a record as a rookie doesn't mean that automatically puts you above the best receivers in the NFL. Go look at the stats. He's a rookie. He broke those records. Awesome. Those records don't even come close to what some receivers in the NFL are putting up right now. Amon-Ra St. Brown beat him in every statistical category. His team's better. That argument is dumb. He can be on the all-rookie team. That's why they have Offensive Rookie of the Year. It's for things like that. If you break a rookie record, give him Offensive Rookie of the Year. But we're talking about all-pro. We're talking about in the full NFL. Amon-Ra St. Brown clearly had an altogether better season than him. He wasn't even close. Wasn't even close. Played one more game, had less yards and less touchdowns and less receptions. Wasn't even close. It's disrespectful at this point.
And when you talk about breaking rookie records as an accomplishment to boost you ahead of someone else, you're in that statement, you're saying he's better than the youngest, the worst guys at that position in the league. Like what are we talking about here? Amon-Ra St. Brown was better than all the receivers in the NFL.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, the best case for snub might actually be A.J. Brown.
I think both. I just think if you have more, you know what I mean? I think it
there's
could go,
no
you can
case
go
for
either
any
way.
of them.
But the best part of
Any
it,
of
too,
them.
is on Sunday, it's Puka Nacua and Amon-Ra St. Brown on the same field. Amon-Ra, remember what he just did back and forth with Justin Jefferson? He's going to do that, but a lot more versus Puka.
Nick? Yes.
And Amon-Ra knows that he's going up against the guy that did get the Pro Bowl. You know he has a massive chip on his shoulder heading to the playoffs, and he's going to absolutely destroy this Rams defense, especially if Sam Laporta's not in the game. I could see him going for 150+, definitely a touchdown, and just absolutely ball out at home in Ford Field. On the same page with Jared Goff. I think he's going to have a really big game because he already has a massive chip on his shoulder. It's basically a boulder right now.
Hey-o. Let's go. All right. I've got a question for the people when we come back. It's a Detroit Lions, it's a Michigan football question for all the people. It's for everyone here. And this is going to be a conversation around the room. I think it's actually a pretty sweet question. So, before that, let me tell you guys about Big Boy. Wintertime in Detroit is always better with comfort foods from Big Boy. Try the veal parmesan or the new Southern Comfort Chicken Bowl. How about the breakfast? Try the stuffed potato pancakes. They are finally back. They have the classic lumberjack or the Santa Fe Garden. Also, the apple pie hotcakes. They are too good to miss. You can top it all off with the new gingerbread shake for dessert as well. Make sure for all of that stuff, I went there the other day and got some of it. Unbelievable. Stop over by your local Big Boy today.
We've just received word. The world's cannabis supply has vanished. The public is outraged and has taken to the streets in response to this tragedy.
The individual responsible acted alone, and we can only hope they will make things right soon.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
Planet Fitness, you can get energy without the judgment.
Hi, can you help me with this?
You don't know how to use it?
This is better.
Join now through January 12th for just 24 cents down, $10 a month. Never intimidating. Always free fitness training and equipment for every workout. Join today during the Big Fitness Energy Sale for 24 cents down, $10 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends Friday, January 12th.
Over 50 Metro Detroit locations.
What happens when you run a great business for over 50 years? You expand, you offer more products to more people.
Really?
That's exactly what Les Stanford did by adding Les Stanford Buick GMC. Wow. And they got the same great service that customers have come to know and trust. They're located on Woodward Avenue, just south of 9 Mile. They have their main dealership in Dearborn. You can visit them today. Find the brand you want at lesstanford.com.
Go.
Sold that car.
Sold it.
Let's go.
All right, welcome back. Woodward Nights. Woo. You all right over there?
Yeah, I just dropped the title of the car on transfer.
Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder on the Woodward Sports Network. Everyone, if you guys can hit that like button for us. What are we at right now? 113. Everyone right now, stop what you're doing and hit that like button for us. Let's get to 150. I know Easy's in the chat there. Let's beat the heavyweights out, man. Let's beat they're at about 150. Let's get to 150 here. Let's beat the heavyweights today. If you guys national champions, man, like come on. We got all four Michigan people in here. Detroit Lions,
go blue
versus the Rams Sunday, NFC North champs.
If you haven't liked the stream, what the hell are you doing?
Thank you, Jeff.
There we go, Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff. All right, I do have a question for you guys here. And if you didn't like the stream, you can't answer this in the chat until you do. Biggest question here, though, for you guys. We'll go around the room. I was thinking about it today, and I'm sure some people already talked about it and kind of went over it. In the state of Michigan this week, I believe this might be, and I can't think of any other time in my life. I think this might be, is this the biggest week of football ever in the state of Michigan? I don't think there's been a bigger week of football. Maybe even not just football, but sports in general. When you have a Michigan national championship and then this whole Rams situation, Stafford coming into Ford Field, first home game ever or playoff game ever in Ford Field. Home playoff game since the 90s. When was the last playoff win was in the 90s? Like this whole week, 7-day stretch for some fans is literally the biggest that you might ever have as a sports fan in Detroit, at least for the time being. Now going forward, it might change a little bit because things just are looking up.
But how do you pair up a national championship with a Lions big moment playoff? Like, obviously a Lions Super Bowl might be the one single biggest event, but when we're talking about multiple teams competing at the top of the league, man, I don't know. I can't see how they would even line up. There just aren't enough wins in the state of Michigan football teams. Yeah, I don't think so.
It just the narratives and like the storylines behind one Michigan winning the national championship, we kind of went down with that all year, and then as well, it's just like this Lions playoff game. I know it's like a wild card game. Everything with it is so big. You know, am I wrong here, fellas? Like this whole week, is this the biggest week?
Yes.
Week ever?
100%. Michigan just won the Natty. Ford Field is hosting their first playoff game at Ford Field and the Lions. First playoff game ever in Ford Field's history. Yes, this is by far the biggest week in Detroit sports history. This is insane. We get to talk about it on a weekly basis. I just feel lucky because this has been such a magical run for Michigan, magical run for the Lions. They tied their franchise record in wins. Just absolutely insanity. Let's take care of business in that first home playoff.
Let's see that shirt real quick. Put that shirt up.
One sec, my bad.
No, you could just hold it up. You didn't have to do that.
Just take it off.
Do that, yeah.
Whoa, Broder. Whoa.
Yes, it is by far the biggest week in Detroit and Michigan history.
Biggest.
Name a time when it wasn't.
Dude, I cannot think of it.
I can't even remember a time where both teams were like this good. Like they might have been like okay, but I've never had a time where both Michigan and the Lions are like this good. You can't name a time.
Yeah,
you can't. If only the Pistons were good.
Imagine the other team. The
Tigers
Red
on
Wings
their
might
way.
make the playoffs still.
Red Wings,
they
hanging
won
in
3
there.
straight, right?
Yeah, they needed to do that too. I was actually going to give an update for the people if it was brought up. Our odds to make the playoffs are now plus 200. So it looks like the other teams are balling out as well.
You gave me a bet at plus 100, 105.
It's at plus 200 right now. Red Wings.
No, Red Wings. Nick, a little backstory on that. Nick came in the day of the season opener and said Booner, I have the play for you of the year. He said, you put everything in your account on this play. Everything you have, Booner. He looked me dead in the eyes and he said, Booner, I promise you, this is it. And it was like plus 105. And it was the Detroit Red Wings to make the playoffs. Everything I had in my account at the time, my betting account, bang, went right to that. I put put it all on there.
One more.
Now it's plus 2. Bang. Now it's plus 200.
Okay, everybody has a slip up after Larkin got hurt. I think we went like 1-6 in a little slump. But hey, 3 straight, swept the West Coast for the first time since the 2000s. Let's go.
It's gonna be
Boys
a battle.
Are hot.
All I know is it's gonna be a
Saturday.
battle for us to hit that bet.
Say what up if you see me at LCA.
It's gonna be a battle.
Saturday.
Are you going Saturday?
Yeah.
I think I might try and go.
No shit. Let's go.
Yeah, I may.
Without college football anymore.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and make some plans to try and do that. That'd be sweet.
Yeah, when we turned the Pistons game on today, it was 66-41.
Oh my
It just
gosh.
ended a 131-110 loss.
I don't know who is that. What team is that?
Can't remember.
No,
it's Sacramento. De'Aaron Fox.
No, yeah, but who played Sacramento?
The Pistons.
Who?
The Detroit basketball.
You remember
Pistons?
2004? You remember that?
I remember 2004. Yeah, they're still around.
Yeah.
The Pistons are still around.
Yeah, they are.
Oh,
Hey, how about our number 5 overall pick getting less than 15 minutes? Shout out Monty. Oh my God, best coach ever.
While Cade's out.
Actually, crazy story about Monty. I'll tell you guys.
Yeah, we'll let's go to break. When we come back, any Lions questions, Michigan questions, anything you guys want, mailbag, whatever they call
We
it.
got Dane Campbell on the mic tomorrow.
What is that?
We got Dane Campbell on the mic on the
I thought
podium
you were
tomorrow.
saying on the show tomorrow. I was
Okay.
like, let's go. Let's get a guest this week. Let's get a couple of guests, man. Deal?
Well, if I could guarantee it, I'd give you a deal.
Okay, deal.
Yeah,
Broder's
cool.
bringing a guest. All right. Everyone, mailbag.
Plus
When we
one.
come back, we're going to go to break. We're going to hit mailbag, and we're going to get into things. Ask anything you want. Anything's on the table. We'll pick and choose what we want, but anything's on the table. Let me tell you guys about Lady Jane's, though. Come over to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience. Register to win a trip of your dreams. And all expenses paid. Sweet for the 2024 NCAA tournament. That is right. No expenses spared for you and 5 of your best buds. That is Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It is wicked awesome.
Calling all landscapers. This is Darren McCarty. I'm at Outdoor Equipment Co. How would you like to landscape like a legend? How about a bad boy zero turn? And even a chainsaw. And even a weed whipper. Whether you landscape for your job or landscape for fun, get all your equipment from Outdoor Equip Co., the official equipment provider of Woodward Sports. Michigan grown, family owned. OutdoorEquipCo.com.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Your home is your most important asset. Flexibility in the sales process is key. When you work with Mark White & Associates, you can cancel at any time, for any reason, without penalty. Speaking of flexibility, check this out. Who you work with matters. Hire the best broker in the game.
Lions fans! It's the moment we've been waiting for.
Lions fans!
After 30 years, the playoffs are here in Detroit. And come and join us for the Ultimate Lions VIP tailgate this Sunday, hosted by Bullseye Event Group and sponsored by Long Drink. As the Lions take on Matthew Stafford and the Rams, we'll have food, music, entertainment, and a chance to witness history. Let's roar together down at Eastern Market. Go to bullseyeeventgroup.com to get your tickets today, right now. Come on.
Go do it. Bullseye. Great event, by the way. Welcome back. Woodward Nights, Booner and Broder on the Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com. Right now, we're just over 130 likes. We've got 170 people watching. If you have not, hit the like button for us. We are 17 away from hitting the goal 150.
Let's go.
Let's
If
hit 150.
you haven't liked the stream, what the hell are you doing?
Thank you, Jeff. If you guys think the Detroit Lions are going to beat the Rams Sunday, hit the like. Smack it, smack it, smack it. All right, mailbag. Let's get into it. Broder, you said you had one here.
Yeah, I'm going to
it.
start right at it. I'm going to go right at you, ETN. Yeah, ETN says, mailbag. I'm a massive fan of the show, but I'm also a cocky Rams fan. Do I take my annoying else elsewhere for the time being, or do I stick around and give y'all an extra person to hate? I'll speak for myself. I say you stay.
I have an answer as well.
Yeah, I say ETN stay. You're welcome anytime. I appreciate some opponents' fans coming in here. You seem to be respectful, man. Let's hang out. Let's hang out for a couple days.
ETN's been a fan of the show for a long time. One of the first original people. When we've had our first show, I remember ETN. ETN, stick around.
Yeah, baby.
We might have a battle this week. Don't take anything. It's all respect. Don't take anything personal. But we're definitely gonna have a battle with you all week long.
Yes.
Corey Berry, Broder, ask Dan how many cups of coffee he'll have on Sunday.
About 12.
A couple black eyes or red eyes.
I don't know.
Red eyes.
I love
with the extra
that's one
shot
of the
of
best
espresso.
videos he has, man.
Epic. That was Corey Woods who got that video with Woodward Sports. I saw one. Art Vandelay, who's going to fill in for Khalif Raymond. I believe on punt return.
I have a guess.
It'd be Donovan Peoples-Jones.
I have a better guess.
And I think in terms of the game, I think they're just, especially with Laporta missing, I think we're going to see even more like St. Brown over the middle. Maybe some DPJ and Josh Reynolds over the middle too. But then JMO. JMO's going to be running some of those Khalif routes.
I think I have a punt returner I think a lot of people would like. I think number 9.
Waymo.
Let Waymo go out there and cook.
Yes.
He'll be fine. His injury's fine. He got a week off. He's going to be good. Tyreek Hill, he returns punts.
Yep.
Deshaun Jackson did. Some of the best and fastest players ever in the NFL, they're punt returners. Let Waymo go. In practice, you've been at practices. He practices catching them, so he's available for that. I don't even think you go DPJ. I think you go Waymo, man.
That would put fear into opposing punters' eyes.
This is a good
Waymo
one
back there.
From our own here. Your favorite, Easy.
That's
mailbag.
That's
Shout
instigating.
No, this is a good question.
9:55 instigation.
This is a great one though. Who wins in a fist fight, Matthew Stafford or Jared Goff?
Stafford all day.
I was going to go Stafford.
Probably Stafford.
Stafford's a
shout out JG, man, but
he's literally a bulldog.
He is too.
JG, he's the quiet assassin. Like he's more of a sniper kind of fighter.
Good leader.
Yeah. Yeah,
they both are too. I guess when I say that makes it sound like Stafford.
No.
They both are.
No,
I just think Stafford's more of like a I'm coming at your head.
Come on now. We seen him throw a touchdown on a separated shoulder. So I mean, you think he can't throw a punch?
Yep, I agree. And even if he can't throw a punch, he's going to do anything he can to win.
Toughness.
He does look like that kind of guy.
Yeah, he might.
He might fight dirty.
That's a great question. Bada bing, bada boom. I wanted to say that. He said mailbag. How do we get Eddie Murphy? I don't know what that means actually.
Eddie Murphy, Buddy Love.
Oh, to dress as Axel Foley and show up Sunday in his live. That's great. I actually watched that the other night, by the way. Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah.
Oh.
You know they're making a new one, right?
Yeah. So I saw the new commercial for the new one, and I was like, I have to go back and watch the old one. And it was on Netflix, so I went and watched it the other night.
Yeah.
For a second, I was like, what is he talking about? And then it hit me.
I just see 2 back-to-back comments. They're not even questions. Andrew Jones, RIP Cash and his Falcons. Corey Berry, just stick around. I'm assuming this was directed at ETN. Just stick around next week to take a good ribbon. You need some laughs here. That's awkward.
I was about to say, maybe I should pause there. I wasn't sure.
I was thinking about it. I was trying to let that one process. Freddie said, when
teammates would
we
stand
bury
up.
Matthew Stafford at Ford Field in the Cowgirls and Jerry World, how confident are you to win the NFC Championship game? I'm guessing that's going to be versus 49ers. Scale 1 to 10, I'm going to say, as a part of the Booner Path, that's a pick-em game.
Yeah.
It's a pick-em game. That's when it's the best of the best at that point. The 2 best teams, in my opinion, in the NFC right now is the Detroit Lions and the San Francisco 49ers. If you have that matchup in the NFC Championship game, it's a pick-em.
Yeah.
1.5 point spread. Vegas will probably disrespect the Lions, but I think that is a pick-em on the road. Even if you're on the road, I think the Lions can get that job done.
They'll be outside, but the weather will be nice.
It'll be perfect weather.
Yeah.
Perfect weather. Broder, what do you think on that one?
I'm sorry, I was reading the comments.
Oh, no, Broder.
What was it about? We only have 3 outdoor games next season, so if we have golf, we got 14 games in a dome.
Wasn't even close.
Oh.
That wasn't even close.
What were you? I heard weather.
It was, if you get to the NFC Championship game, what's your confidence level on the Detroit Lions beating the 49ers, basically?
Oh, it's confident, but I would probably favor the 49ers at this very moment because they're very good. And Trent Williams gets 2 weeks off to rest. Thank you, Brad Allen. They'd be favored, but I think the Lions can hang.
Broder, I got a quick question for you. Talking about these tight ends real quick, with Brock Wright and Laporta being hurt, is James Mitchell a guy you have faith in to step up in a spot if we need him to be the starter on Sunday?
It's a good question. I maybe for a game. He's not what Laporta is in both pass catching and blocking, and not what Brock Wright is in blocking. He's a better pass catcher than Brock Wright, but they always trust Brock Wright over him for some reason. You know, the Chargers game last year against the Jets, like Brock Wright's like a key piece to this offense.
What's up with his injury?
He's expected to be back this weekend, but I forget what it was. It's been 2 or 3 weeks since he's been out, so I don't know how effective he'll be. It's looking like James.
I have something on the tight ends thing too. It's like, obviously we know what Ben Johnson is, and he has schemes for everyone. He knows what he's like. We know who Ben is, right? I think with no Sam Laporta, that's where you start seeing like there's going to be he knows what he's doing. That's where Josh Reynolds, J-Mo, Donovan Peoples-Jones, Jahmyr. Think about this: we haven't seen Jahmyr Gibbs a ton lined up, and we have seen him lined up out wide a lot, but not like as much as we thought we were going to. That's now Jahmyr Gibbs is going to get more involved in the pass game.
Khalif Raymond,
my thought, and we're going to break the game down throughout the week, but I think like Khalif Raymond, with Leaf out though, so if Leaf and Sam Laporta are out, guys like Jahmyr Gibbs, Josh Reynolds, DPJ, those guys are going to start getting a lot more plays written up for them. Those are guys too you can trust to make plays. This isn't like a thing to where it's like, oh no, Sam Laporta's out, now we have no one to make plays. You don't have to go to Brock Wright. You don't even have to play him. You have other weapons. Like, that's the one thing about this offense is we've had so many weapons, man. Like, unbelievable amount of weapons that they're able to use, and Ben Johnson's been such a good just be able to put a masterpiece together on play calling and writing things, drawing things up. I'm not that worried. It's just when you get Sam Laporta back, it makes it that much better. Like, he's been that good. We have guys, Josh Reynolds, he was on track for 1,000 yards this year, 7 games into the season.
Only had a good quarterback.
Yeah, to that point, we had 9 touchdowns last year from guys like Brock Wright, Shane Zylstra, and James Mitchell all combined. So I think we will be able to figure something out because Ben Johnson is that special OC that will scheme some guys open.
Yeah, that's a great point. And where was I going with that? I forgot.
I see a lot of people in here saying Laporta's going to be fine and play this week. Don't count on it. Yeah, he is moving in positive directions. It might not be as bad as we thought, but it's a knee injury. Like, it's something to where it was a hyperextension.
Right.
That leads to other things, and you don't and I know it's the playoffs and everything. You can win without him. He is just like that. He's one of the best in the league at his position. You don't want a long-term injury to where he's out next year. You got to look at their
track record. They haven't played guys like in that position, so yeah.
You do not want a long-term injury to where next year that's affected as well. And I get this year is a Super Bowl. Like, I'm with you, but if you can hold off for one more week and win the game, and then you get him back without a long-term, that's where it comes in. All right, love you guys a ton. Appreciate you guys tuning in. That is Woodward Nights for tonight.
Shout out Lamichael Cardenas.
What did he say?
He said, "What up to Woodward Nights?" He asked him.
What up, though?
He was like, "Hey, bring Vrabel to Detroit." I say,
"Oh, maybe that's it. If AG leaves, that's a great DC." I think Vrabel's going to be in New England, though. Appreciate you guys all tuning in. Make sure tomorrow you guys check out Morning Woodward Show from 8 to 10. Big DM Energy after Armani Edwards with Maz. Heavyweights, and then we will be back tomorrow 8 p.m. to break down some of the game for this week, and we're getting into it now, fellas. It was a short week for us. We had a Monday off. We're back full force. We will see you guys tomorrow 8 p.m. Love you guys. National champion, baby! What are we talking about? Let's go! Let's go, baby! National champ. This is all we wanted. Jim Harbaugh. We don't care what's going on. Let's go, baby! National champ. That's what we're talking about. Every haters, we don't care. We've got a national championship. Give me the cigar. We're enjoying this one, and we're going nowhere.